this.
It's difficult.
Get time.
How do I get anyone?
Oh, get time. There's no back.
It was our back. You mean?
To the get our time.
How do I get anyone?
Oh, get chaos and our bearing no spec.
It was our back. You mean?
The one and only, the ultimate. Grant you one. It all starts with this. A jewel containing the innocent. There's no one. It doesn't bother me, Maria.
From the base, follow-up report. Is that Fox Boy? Try and catch me. From the base,
I'm the world's
follow-up report.
You will lose your super.
Well,
The world.
is that how about making?
Get time. Oh, get time. Back.
It was our back. You mean?
To the get our time.
How do I get anyone?
Oh, get chaos and our bearing no spec.
It was our back. You mean?
To the get time.
How do I get anyone?
Oh, get time. There's no back.
It was our back. You mean?
To the get our time.
How do I get anyone?
Oh, get chaos and our bearing no spec.
I'm back. You mean?
You need the Skeksis.
Hogarth.
Professor
It's difficult.
blown away.
You need
The Nate
Skeksis.
chaos. Do I
Dream
master's out to be this? Cops going on. Better not come back to your buddy. Hey, dog. Get back to the cops going on. Come in. You know what can I say? No way back. Cops going on. You're almost out of back to your buddy. Hey, dog. Get back to the pyramid going on. You know what can I say? The one and only, the ultimate. Grant you one. It all starts with this. A jewel containing the innocent. There's no super. Gotta go now. Maria, my master.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because some people still say Daramouthe, which is the odd thing because there's a silent E at the end, and I say it, try to correct as many times as possible, and that's why I went with Dara. So anyway, well, hello everyone, and I would like to welcome my long-awaited guest after the last time, which was computer stuff. So that was fun. I welcome the what would be a good introing the chaotic chaos himself. Well, just chaos, really. So but how are you doing, good sir?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, trying to stay warm in these cold winter months, and grateful that my computer works again, because that was not a fun time. That was not a fun time at all. But no, I was glad we were able to reschedule, because the last time I think it was you going to join me for my Pay It Forward streams. Unfortunately, that didn't turn out to be the case, but I have you here today, so it's all awesome all around. And you're quite a bringing a name for yourself over on the Rumble side, so it's pretty awesome in its own right. Well, then again, people just like a little chaos in their own life, so maybe that's it too. So.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun doing all this stuff, man. Yeah, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm just a normal dude. Like, nothing special about me at all. I just love art. I love making stuff. I'm super creative, and if I don't do something, I literally go crazy. So that's why you see a lot of stuff on Twitter, with Rumble, with not. I'm also I help produce the Matt Kohrs Show, which is like
Nice.
Featured on front of Rumble every day. So you see my artwork. You get to see I do these crazy intros and songs for the show.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'm just a creative dude that's just normal like everybody else.
Well, creative and normal have never been put together so eloquently and never been so wrong for each other. Usually, normal does not go with creative, because you have Picasso, not normal. You have, what's another good one? You have Da Vinci, not normal, and that's creative right there. So you have a lot of people who could be put under that creative weight, but they're not what we consider normal. And normal is just considerably overused anyway, because what is normal, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because normal, from my perspective, and this was said a lot during like when after all the COVID stuff, whatever, people are like, oh, we're going back to normal. It's like, do you even know what that word means?
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of people, and I get that it's sort of kind of going from a high tense to a rest, which is fine to say. But when you're saying going back to normal, it's like you're never really throughout your life, right? From when you're born to when you die, is it really normal?
Not really, actually, yeah.
Because I find the fascinating thing, and this is usually something that you kind of learn along the way, is that you'll either choose where you want to go, or it will be chosen for you by your inaction or by different choices, and stuff like that. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with like going along for the ride or whatever. Some people live like that, and that's fine. Because life shouldn't be a what's a good word? Life shouldn't be a tremendous weight of I don't know whatever you want to call it. To be honest, hey, Self Flipsy Magazine, how are you? Doing good, lady. I hope you're doing well. But it just for me is it's just when people say normal, it feels very off-putting because what is people have yet to explain to me what normal is, right? And the best way I can come up with it is just going back to the status quo, because that's what normal for me is going back to the status quo, what you were doing before. But even then, the status quo is never the same.
Yeah.
So the status quo is something you believe to be the point of calm, safety, or whatever. But at a certain point, it's not normal. Is just it's like fair, it's like equal. They're all overused fairy words because we created them because we want to believe that the world is fair or equal, when in truth, throughout life, it never will be.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world is a crazy, treacherous place where everybody's fighting against each other for to be at the top, right? Like there's different levels of society,
Yeah.
But
And or clicks, or you see those movies, right, where you have like the the jocks in one section and all these other things. It's sort of like that. People say they grew up, they went out of high school. Not really. It just changed to a different form that involved older people who maybe sometimes still act like children.
yeah. I'm one of them.
Well, but there's a difference between acting like a child and having a childlike wonder, right? Like you're doing it on a creative side, which is doing music, doing thumbnails, all that stuff. That's more of a creative aspect to it. But when you're talking acting childish, that's a whole nother ballpark with a bunch of people who pretend to be adults, who have suits or whatever on, and they're really just kids who haven't grown up in a sense. Not everyone.
Oh yeah.
Who are like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that out there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's the way of life. That's why you just gotta surround yourself by people that are, doing good things in life and not trying to be a kid, like having high hopes and aspirations for themselves is exactly where you want to surround yourself, especially in 2025, because I've seen some of the craziest stuff, even in 2024 on Twitter or X or whatever, where I'm just like, this is like a grandpa talking, where I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're crazy. Like, I've seen so much crazy in the past couple of years that I've seen my entire life, man. Like, I don't remember it ever being this crazy. Like, I mean, I think that social media is terrible for us. I think it's terrible that people they're just reading the news constantly. Like, we're not meant to do that shit, So like, yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, man. I've watched I tuned into your show for the first time last week, and I enjoyed it. I think you're doing something cool here, man. I think it's really cool that you're bringing on, some smaller creators to give them a little bit of a platform.
It's a whole assortment of people. My issue is I'm not trying to be just a creator, sort of a solely creator thing, because that's the wrong way of doing it for me. The reason why I'm doing it is because there's not enough it doesn't feel like there's enough conversation across the board with just people in general, right? Yes, I have the connection of, Flip CD Magazine. I've had her on. She's lovely. She and her husband run a Mad TV like magazine of, satire and all that stuff. Pretty cool. But at the end of the day, yes, they are creators, but for me, I'm not just about creators, because for me, you already have enough content creators that are doing that, right? They're already bringing on people bigger than them, whatever. No, No, I'm about the whole field, right? I'll be honest in my greediness. I will be about the whole field. Now I will be what's the point? I will be picky to some regard because there's some people out there who are just like, I don't think I want to touch that.
Yeah.
Um, but that's far and few in between. My point is we have a lot of different creators who have a lot of different shows. Some podcasts about sports, entertainment, movies, all this stuff. And at the end of the day, they usually just bring on they make a circle, right? They make a circle of friends, and they bring on newer people sometimes, but they're mostly either higher up or within the field they're doing. I want all of it, right?
Yeah, you just want to talk. You just
I
want to talk. Yeah.
I want, oh yeah, because
Oh.
the issue of it is we don't really have much of that. Now I did see someone like I think Theo Vaughn does, like, he invites, he like right the regular person, right? Garbage workers and all that stuff. At least that's what I've heard from one of them. I haven't watched much of his stuff, but you have someone like that, so that's great. That's like that should be at almost everything because you have billions and billions of people, and probably maybe a third of that are English speakers, right? And I've
Mhm.
talked from Germany, UK, talked to a few from Alaska, so I've been that far. But the honest truth is, it feels like while we talk about all these different things, you talk about Hollywood, talk about the game industry, all this stuff, you're missing the big component that influences all of it, and that's the people,
Yeah.
right? Like
People.
you make music, but you have what, like 10,000 other people making music, and all that stuff. It's about
Mhm.
what you're wanting to do with it, not what they
Right.
want. It's what you want to do with it. And so for me, I'm doing this thing because for how long I've done it, like, I've said it before, it's like I've had over like 130 different guests, and I'm like, how is it that I can do that? But yeah, I see another content creator who's bigger than me, and they only do like once a week or whatever, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers. They have millions of followers, and they don't even tap into that.
Yeah, I
It's
feel that. You know who was really good at doing what you just said, and this
mm,
was probably about like 15 years plus ago, was
mm,
Tom Green. So Tom Green, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know, is like one of the innovators of like podcasting and whatnot. But
mm,
he had a show like
mm,
15 years ago where you call in and all that whatnot.
mm,
But when he would go to there's this donut shop, and he would be in Burbank, and there's this donut shop right next to where his podcast studio was, and
mm.
he just saw these guys playing banjos one time, and he's like, "Hey, you guys gotta come on the show." And then the whole show, he interviewed two random dudes. He found out. I mean, these guys had amazing stories. I mean, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised that the random dude walking by you on the street may have like the most insane story you've ever heard in your life that you may
Yeah.
find so fascinating. So he would do that kind of stuff. He would just go find random dudes at the coffee shop, bring them onto the show, interview them. He would let people straight up call into the show, and he would talk to them for like 20 minutes, and he would just like about whatever, and
Yeah.
that's when I started to really get fascinated with just like talking. If people who know me know that I talk their freaking head off if I get on a spree. So
Right.
like I love podcasting, I love talking, and I love hearing conversations, man, because you never know what someone has to say, and you
Yeah.
never, and it's a way to make a lot of friends.
Mhm.
I've made tons of friends through this. I think I've made more friends last year than I have probably my entire life,
Yeah.
just through talking to people.
Yeah.
Random people that aren't big, people that, I'm not trying to like I said, I'm a nobody, so I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get big. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I feel that, man. I think that's really cool.
Well, yeah, and of course, I think I saw that where someone had put out something like Joe Rogan was on his show once, and then that whole spiel with that. But no, but I mean, there was another time too. I saw, and I'm pretty sure you know Conan O'Brien, right?
Yeah, my
And
like literal favorite person in the world.
but there was, he once he got done with his show, right, TBS or whatever, he went on to do his
Mhm.
pod. I think he was like quiet for a little while, and then he went and did his podcast. Well, there was this thing. I don't know if it was a few years ago or not, but there was this thing where it was just bit and pieces I remember seeing, but he would go, right, he'd have his podcast, and then at random he would choose these people that were listening to his podcast, and he would go visit them. And I'm like,
That's cool.
wait a second. So you're saying a person who's considered a celebrity, right, has people listen to his show. He chooses people at random, and he's going. I mean, of course, there's the stipulations of liability, all that stuff. So you have to go through the whole video. But at the end of the day, he went. He went. There was like one place, like Norway or whatever. It was very cold. He went to like I think New York, whatever. He went to different places. I don't know if it was there's like a mini thing or whatever, but he went to different places just regular people. It's like, why don't you have that?
Yeah.
Why is it that you have hundreds of millions of people within just the US alone, not counting the other places, and you only get people who are stuck within a niche? And there's nothing wrong with that. You as a content creator, your stuff is your stuff. Don't listen to me. All right, don't listen to me. I'm doing this. I'm just looking at a perspective that looks strange to me.
Yeah.
Especially when I can say I've had on over 130 different guests. Geek has been on, Flip City's been on, and so many others. And I can say I've had on over 130 different guests. And yet usually you don't see that with other content creators because that takes them over a year or so to have that, right? But for me, I was doing it, day after day, and I don't have to. There's no reason for me to have to do it anyway. I'm not getting like mango bucks, whatever. But the point of the matter is that there's something there. Just like you were saying with Tom Green, there's some, and I don't have because he had his own studio stuff, right? He had his own. I don't have that. I just have a camera and a mic. But there's something there that says to keep going with it, because there's too many people, right? And I bring on people who've been on before, back on before, and that's a great opportunity itself. But there are too many people, creator not out there right now. There's, just like you said, you never know what story they'll have, and I've been told many a times to myself, right? When I'm, do like we do in DMing and all that stuff in Twitter X, I don't know if what I have to say is worth it enough. What was that? Like, you don't believe your words are worth enough? Do you not get what the meaning of the show is?
Yeah. Yeah, people gotta have a little faith in themselves. I mean, some people really just don't know what to say. There are a lot of people out there like that, and whatever. That's how they are. But no, I got a lot to say, man. I got a lot to say about everything, man. I love talking about it, But don't feel afraid to don't belittle yourself as a creator, whatever. Try and get out there, talk, get your name out there, and also, get rid of your antisocialness, and start talking to people. A lot of people they hermit and they don't talk to anybody, and that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Not healthy at all. You'll become like me.
Making music and working for a guy in the back room.
Oh my God, man. My life is so much different than it used to be, dude. I grew up playing guitar. Like when I was like 12, I was playing guitar, and started a band when I was like 13 or 14, and everybody in high school was like, your band sucks, you're never gonna make it, blah 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 blah. And then I joined a band and went on a world tour and played arenas at like 16 years old, and graduated high school early, to where my principal begged me to do independent study because she's like, you're gonna be huge. And of course I never became huge. That's the downfall of the story. But I've been in a band my whole life, just doing crazy shit my whole life, and all over the world, to now becoming a content creator producer, which is like completely 180. But it's almost in the same world. It's a lot of competition, and you get to see the greediness of the business, and that no one gives an F about you. So like I got a lot to say, and I also really enjoy doing what I'm doing now. I really enjoyed playing in a band, touring, and it was like being on a road trip with your best friends, and you're waking up in a different city every day. Everybody's got different accents, and you're screwing around, having fun. We were all so young at the time that we were no care in the world for anything. We were just having fun. But now it's like a real thing. It's like we do a real me and Matt, we've been doing finance for about like a little over 3 years now together.
Wow.
And I reached out to him through chat, dude. He was like pretty popular guy back in the day, and I just noticed, I'm like, dude, you don't have merchandise, like you don't have a logo, like what the hell are you doing, dude? You fucking like. So I like reached out to him through chat, and I bugged him and 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 bugged him, and I just kept bugging his ass. And eventually he read one of my things and really liked what I did, and he's like, hey, can I buy this from you? And then I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it, but let's start a merch store together. We started a merch store. We did that for a little bit. And one day he wanted, like I was talking to him, like, dude, you need to start doing videos. You know, like you do your update videos, but I'm like, you need like real editing, you know?
Mhm.
And he's like, all right, let's hire some guys. And he wanted to hire some editors, and I didn't know how to edit. I wasn't an editor at that time or nothing.
Right.
I barely could do thumbnails. I could be surprised that he even hired me in the first place.
Mhm.
But these guys were super sketchy. He tried to hire, and he was like, no, screw that. And he tells me, he's like, dude, you could learn it. He's like, you could freaking think. He's like, just do it for 30 days, dude. I bet you'd be good at it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm like, I recorded music my whole life, but I never edited videos and did stuff like that. So yeah, I just started doing it, dude. And I began to really, really like it because it was stuff that I always wish I could have done back in the day. Because I used to shoot music videos for a living for like a good chunk of my life. Yeah. But I wasn't involved in the editing process. I was strictly filming and shots and direction and production and stuff. But yeah, I always wanted to learn how to edit. So now like I'm not very like super amazing at editing, but I feel like I'm a little step above a lot of other people. And I feel like it's taken me doing it every single day for 3 years to get to where I'm at, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't when I started doing this, you know, I was just watching content creators because I wasn't really, you know, I had thought about it, you know, someone in chat would ask like, oh, how did you get started? How you like voice actors and whatnot, you know, I ask them, how do you get started? And for me, I was always here, you know, you just start with the mic and the camera. I was like, oh, okay, because I had like a little snowball mic that was like from Samsung or something like that, not Samsung, but Samsung. It's like that's how it's called. And then I had like a camera, but it wasn't autofocus or whatever. And the point of the matter was that over time I sort of, you know, I have a full-time job, so I bought all this stuff out of my own money. You know, anything I've earned, I've in some way either put it back through like my pay it forward end, or it's been used a little bit for, you know, paying bills, of course, or putting for the equipment. And taxes. Don't forget, it's tax season. Dear goodness, it's the 4th of January. If you guys aren't thinking about your taxes right now and getting them done,
down with taxes.
Yeah, unfortunately, you stopped to deal with them. So yeah, I had to put in my W-9 because I made over throughout the whole year last year. I made over 600 for the Rumble side. So I had to put in my W-9. So
really?
So let's see how that goes. But other than that, yeah, it's I'm hoping I don't go to prison. But anyway, but the point of the matter is that I just kind of was doing like you know. What I would do is I use StreamYard at first. I use StreamYard to record because you can record. I didn't live stream because I couldn't live stream to Rumble yet because you had the 5-thing rule and all that stuff. And when that was kind of washed out, or I actually at a certain point, I just bought the Pro Package plan because the Pro Package plan would allow to circumvent that. And so I did that. And then I started live streaming both Rumble and YouTube. Now, I used OBS after that because as a multi-plugin. OBS is still a very hands detail in sort of thing for most people to use, but I was just using that for like the multi plugin, and I was basic and simple, right? I am not. If you were to look at my thumbnails, they've evolved over time, but I use Canva for my thumbnails. I'm really basic, really simple. If it looks good, I'm not. It doesn't say I haven't evolved it or changed it, whatever. But it's more of just like if it works, if it looks good, great. We could try it and see where it goes. But I'm not about like you see with other people. Like I'm not like the, you know, the doc with like all the edited stuff and all the. I am just simple and basic as can be, as long as it looks good, as long as I can have fun with it. That's the basic point of it. And then once Rumble Studio came out as beta, and you could go for that wait list, right? That wait list. I put in for that, and I was probably like the 3rd or 4th wave of people waiting, and I've been using it ever since. There have been some issues along the way, some hiccups, but and some frustrations. But at the end of the day, for something that's free that you could multi-stream out to, where others would charge you for,
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's, as anything, the first of anything is never going to be the greatest thing. I mean, look at the first iPhone, and look at iPhones now. Look at the first car. Look at the cars. You know, the first anything is never going to be good. So the fact that it's evolved this much in like less than a year, I want to say,
yeah,
it's remarkably better. Like remarkably better. Everything is great about it. I don't personally use it as much. Because I just have a setup, but I know that a lot of people will use, you know, like a virtual camera and send it into here. which is great. And when Rumble eventually, I mean, I may not know, but if once they eventually allow you to just do that, so you don't have to third party in, which is kind of like pointless, to come and stream, this will be the one, man. This will be the one, and it's so easy to use. I've sent it to a couple of my friends that have like CPU issues. And when they stream like on Streamlabs, they can't play a game and stream. It's like really bad. But if they go on Rumble Studio and stream and do a screen capture, they don't deal with like a bunch of CPU usage as much. Like it uses less. So it's eventually like, and the team behind Rumble, dude, they're incredible. I've talked to a lot of them, and they're really awesome people. And I have 100% faith in those guys are going to bring out something like incredible next year. And it seems like this year. Oh yeah, this year. Jesus. Yeah, I know. I'm still typing 2024 in all my notes and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's 2025. It's so weird saying 2025. You know why I think it's weird? Because when I was like, I don't know, 25 years ago, I remember watching the History Channel, and it was like this show, and it was like the year 2025, and it was like all the like what they thought it was gonna be like, dude, and they were so far off. Like they're so far off. But yeah, 2025 is just crazy. I know I'm turning 36 this year, and that's crazy to me because I remember being 21 like it was yesterday, and I miss it. I wish I can go back in time forever. Maybe hopefully before I die and we die, that they create some kind of like reverse time machine, dude, because I'll jump in it so fast. I don't care. I'll restart it. I want to be young forever, man. I miss my hair. I don't have hair anymore. Like I want to do anything for my hair. I'm just trying to get I'm trying to trade these stocks and make this money in the stock market. I swear to God, I get a hair transplant.
Are you saying that you're the you're doing the Tim Pool? You're wearing the beanie to cover the
dude? Yeah, I'm doing the Tim Pool, but I would never do the freaking Tim Pool in a suit wearing a beanie. I saw that picture going around. He probably did it because he knew people would take a picture of it, and it's social media and blah blah blah. He knew it'd go viral. But I'm Tim Pool right now. It sucks. I don't like it. I wish. I mean, I used to have hair halfway down my back. It used to be like pink, red, green, blue. You name the color. I was just like a wild dude back in the day, and I'm totally different now. I have no hair, no style, not cool anymore.
Oh, come on!
So I'm just like you'll stick some needles in my head.
Oh,
Michael. Michael Keenart. He's a great dude. That guy. He does acupuncture.
Arts. Oh, he does. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's been on before, so yeah, it was pretty fun to have him on.
He's a fun dude.
Yeah.
I got a picture. Actually, you guys can see it right here. That's one of his art pieces hanging up on my wall. That should be a lot lower, and I need to get a lot more of them. But man, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, and he was doing his art podcast, inviting other artists on, which was pretty great. But yeah, I had him on. Oh, was it early of last year? And it was April, sometime in April. I can't remember. But I mean, when you come across the way of people, like you're saying earlier, you get to meet people of different talents, whatnot. Like I've met people. I've had on some people. I've had on Vent. I've had on a local Vivian, lovely lady who works at local. I didn't know she did at first. I was just like, see another person just try. But I didn't invite them on because of that stature. It was more like they're just people, and I'd just like to talk to them and see what they're about. And so I've had that. And yeah, no, there's still a long way to go. Hey, Horror Stream, there's still a long way to go for Rumble right now. I mean, they did get that bump from Tether and stuff, but they still have spaces to go because again, they'll always be compared to other platforms. They'll always be trying to catch up in certain ways. And I get why Chris the CEO plays up certain things, but at a certain point there's a time where it has to be acknowledged that there are still some issues where they're suffering at, and they need to get better, or they need to get more people to be able to hand that. It's always a resource manpower issue, right? We're serving doing video hosting stuff is always a resource manpower issue, and I hope that with the Tether stuff. That can at least be alleviated because they're still suffering on certain fronts. Because I do a thing called Rumble Squared once a month. I didn't do it last month because, of course, computer issues. But I'm doing this thing where I'm sort of doing like a grounds level sort of uh, data intaking of where I have on 6 other different guests, including myself. And whether they use Rumble as a user creator or there's someone from the outside, they give their input on what they see from their perspective. The good, the bad, the wishes they'd want from the wish list, that sort of thing, and just um, give their viewpoint of that, and then try to collect that data not only from them but the chat, whoever gives to in that regard, and just take it, collect it, try to find the commonality and kind of give that back. Now, last time I did it, I didn't give anything to the Rumble people. I just gave it to, I just put it on Twitter X, and it's still there. Of what was discussed, and all that. And so this time, however, I'm hoping for a little more in depth of what are the issues here. Like, some people, when Doc came on, right, some people were complaining that they were having um, you know streaming issues, freezing, all that stuff through the mobile app. Now, most of the time they'll just say they're having, when they do the comment or whatever, they'll just say, oh, it's freezing, whatever. But like, okay, so where are you watching it from, right? You have people who will just say the Rumble UI sucks, and they never say it's this that sucks. And it's just like, what about the UI sucks, and never anything from it. So you do have those kind of people who just give vague, and again, people need to understand is when you're dealing with people who are on the tech side, right, developers, engineers, you're dealing with people who are problem solvers, are troubleshooters, but they need more of the puzzle to see the picture.
Yeah.
You just being vague doesn't help. And I know some people say, well, I've told them like once or twice, before, and it's like, I understand that. But at the end of the day, you have to understand there are more variables of what is taking something longer. Like right now, people had the repost, people had the emojis on the app, people had the gifted subs. It's been great. Gifted subs has exploded. That's been a great boon. But the other one that Chris had talked about that's not there yet is the creator dashboard. So we'll see when that comes out. But you have to remind yourself, guys, that there's a whole lot behind the system we don't see, and we take for granted of how quick and easy things work on other platforms because it's time, resource, manpower, data, all that stuff plays an effect of making a better video site. You can be frustrated, that's fine. But to understand the flip side of the coin, it's a little more difficult because a lot of people are just like, this phone works pretty quickly, and then they don't understand the reasoning behind. They don't understand the coding. They don't understand anything else behind it. They just understand this thing work. So like it's sort of like going back to caveman, right? They struck 2 stones, make spark, make fire, right? And then that was it. But yeah, it's something great about being underground underdog, though. Yeah, and that's understandable, but you can't be underground underdog for long. It's how you carry yourself beyond the point of that, right? Like being humble is great, doing all this stuff is great, but you aren't going to always be underdog underground because you as an individual are not always going to be satisfied of just being stuck where you are. You're going to want to grow in different spaces or to improve yourself or whatever, but you're not going to be always happy just being in one spot. Humans have that thing. So it's about how you carry yourself beyond those points when you start out is the true test. Not how you start out, it's how you carry yourself throughout it is the truer test. And a slug rug, I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, my bathroom rug. He saw it. It says SLUT.
Oh, that's not I met it wrong. I thought it said slug. It said slut. All right.
Anyways, yeah.
But that's great. You got to at least talk to some people behind the scenes because again, I've only talked to like 2. But the thing I want to do with Rumble Squared is to sort of, and this is a 2-way thing for me, right? Even if I don't get that opportunity, I still build up how to take down data and all this stuff and how to translate it. But if it leads to having a conversation with people on the back end or whatever, and just an open communication, it's not being taken advantage of, whatever, no gimmicks or whatever. It's just having that open communication of giving that data to them and they take with it what they will, and there's conversation back and forth. That'd be the real ultimate goal. but I did know life is what it is, and so that's not always going to work out the way it is. But
Right.
I have 2 ways to win for doing Rumble Squared. So, but I figured I'd mention that. But yeah, it's cool that you've gotten that opportunity, and I'm thinking, how long you been working with Matt and doing this?
Oh, Matt, probably. I'm trying to remember when I started. It's like 2021.
So around 3 to 4 years at that point.
Something like that, yeah. So we've been doing it for a minute, man, and it's just been a grind, man. We've been, we stream Monday through Friday. We do our best not to miss those days. We stream all the major like Fed meetings and stuff like that. It's strictly finance. I mean, you're not gonna come to our page and get Dr. Disrespect. You know what I mean? But if you come to our page, there's a big, huge potential for you to become very successful. There's been a lot of our, I guess you want to say fans or people that are part of our community that have literally been homeless and turned it around and now have a house. And it's just we teach financial education. We help people not make dumb mistakes that a lot of people, we talked about adults being children. We have more in that in our community probably than the entire internet, dude. So we try to at least give we can't force people to do anything. Everybody has to make their own choices and stuff, but we at least let you know, like, hey, that might be BS. Like, this is to be careful. Don't put all of your money into this, So that's what we're here for. We're here to protect people and make sure they don't lose all their money and become successful in life. And we give that to people for free, for free. It's free Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. ET. The Matt Kohrs Show. It's usually featured on the front page of Rumble, right next to like Crowder and Bongino and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. If you're like, we help the people that don't know what they're doing, that have never done this before, to the most advanced people you could think of, So like it's really for everybody, and we have a Discord that we love, to help people as well, and
Nice.
Tons of successful people. So yeah, I've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years, and you got to realize I never did this before. I never made thumbnails before. I never did editing before. I was, like I said, I was playing music my whole life, and I used to dither around in like Photoshop. Probably when I was like 15, so about 20 years. Jesus Christ, crazy to say that. 20 years ago, I started messing around in Photoshop, doing like the tour flyers and stuff like that, and I got pretty good at it because I know how to draw and stuff like that. But I just took a huge break from it forever. So when Matt was like, "Can you do thumbnails?" I'm like, "Think I can," And like my first work, like the first ones I did for him, were so bad. They were terrible. Oh, look at that! You got some memberships.
Hey, thanks, Yankee.
Very cool.
Appreciate it. Oh, now I'm gonna have to make a lot of pieces of paper. Oh Lord.
Oh, is that what those post-it notes are back there?
Yeah, the post-it notes are these ones are just rants. Those ones right up there, those are the membership ones. But the colored ones are rants. I was told by I can't remember who, but like my back wall was boring or whatever, didn't have enough color. So it was like
this.
Like this one. I was like, how can I resolve this? Well, there was another content creator following at the time. It was Side Schooler Podcast, and whenever you get because they multi-stream, they had to get a gifted sub or whatever, he would put up a post-it note on his back wall of all this stuff. And so I was like, oh, I'll take that and try myself. Yeah, you got yourself. Yeah, look at that. I'll put you on the board. But yeah, so I just kind of took that idea and I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, right? It's like I figured out a way to give back, give a thank you of sorts to the people, and then of course my wall gets colored. So I was like, there you go. I'm perfect right there. But yeah,
give it about 5 years, man. It'll be on the ceiling. It'll be on the on the drapes over there.
It'll be everywhere.
It'll look cool. I can't wait for that. It'll look cool, man.
Yeah,
a little box of Daramouthe.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm just appreciative that I even get any attention at all, because I started out this thing doing like gaming, and then of course the edited video, or not the edited videos, but like a streamed video, a recorded video basically, and I would just talk about whatever, or talk about a movie I was watching or something like that. and I did like a movie review. I think like one of the movie reviews I did was on Barbie, so that tells you how dated they are. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's and I was doing gaming. I was streaming gaming. I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this, and it wasn't until I invited like Zora on for like the first, just to conversate. It's not until that point as I realized there's something here, right? Because I watched a bunch of different content creators and what they do and their niche stuff. Like there's something here for just having the conversational aspect. And sort of was spotty throughout throughout the months. Like it was November. No, it was like November. May was when I started doing all this, like the recorded stuff, and then August was when I started live streaming, and then it was November of 2023 when I got Zora on, and then started doing that whole process in the spotty. And it wasn't until April of last year that I started doing the calendar I do. So this isn't full yet, but this is my calendar for this month.
There you go. You're a busy boy.
That's a lot of different people to try to ask and try to say, would you like to come on? It's like, well, maybe just give me a minute or something like that. So, I mean, the most difficult thing for me is still scheduling, because you have to ask people, and I do mostly through Twitter DMs. I've done emailing for a few, very few, and then Discord as well, but I mostly do through Twitter X. But that's just the one issue I really have. And then of course when something like a computer stuff happens, then I'm kind of stuck. But yeah, I mean it's been a great thing, and I've gotten some small stuff out of it. I've gotten to meet a bunch of different people, all the followers and stuff. Majority of my followers are all from part of from my pay it forward stream, and then part of just doing all this stuff. And when you see those people talk about how it's hard to grow on Rumble or whatever, I'm just like, I was easier to grow on Rumble for me than it was on YouTube, because YouTube is just so it's a YouTube is a sea compared to Rumble, yes, but a sea that's so full of so many different things, it's kind of hard to carve out a space, right? Because everyone else has done it to a degree.
You know, I see the difference in between, like, because I agree with you. I've grown, like, I'm not trying to be a content creator. I kind of just do it for myself. I do it for, hey, I did a cool song, I'm going to put it out there. But I do the same thing. I did the same thing on YouTube. I would put up my songs, and I'm pretty sure I've had a YouTube account since 2012 or something like that. I have 91 subscribers. Okay. I've had a Rumble account for, I think, 3 years. Didn't start posting to it till about a year ago. Right. I have like double my YouTube subs. Right. But I think the thing that's different is the fact that Rumble's coming up, right? YouTube's established. Yeah. I don't remember there being like a YouTube community when YouTube first started. Like, it really wasn't like a community, man. There was the reason why I think Rumble's growing now is there is a community backing this that I think will continue to grow and grow and grow and stick with it. And I think that everybody in the community supports each other. And there for YouTube in the beginning days, I don't think anybody knew what the hell it was. In the beginning, yes, but they did have, before Google bought it, I would say the change was Google, but before Google bought it, they did have their sort of community forum, and I can back this up. Let me just bring it up. I was looking for, a while back, I was trying to look for what did YouTube look like at 2016, because I was trying to figure out, like, because, Rumble's like 12 years now, and then, I was trying to see where YouTube was at 12 years. So I was trying to find what it looked like, and I did find this place. It's a web design museum. Give me 1 second. You're good. All right, there we go. So here's what YouTube looked like in 2014, right? And this is just going through the years, right? But people, if people don't remember, this is what YouTube looked like at the beginning. That's the beginning of YouTube right there, right? You'd have all this stuff. This is the all that. You have that. You have this. You have logging in, developer API, and then you have a community board right here. Now, obviously, you can see over here, right, where my
things are at. That it was started by 3 former PayPal employees in 2005, and they sold it to Google November of 2006. So they probably had at least a year's worth of time with YouTube before they sold it to Google. But they did have a form of a community, right? December 14th, 2005, welcome to our world. I'm not going to say how many people were, but this community board kind of shows that they were trying to, they did have a community there. So when you say they didn't have a community at the beginning, I kind of push back a little bit because they did of sorts. It's 2005.
Yeah, it's a different community back then. It was like the beginning of like what, MySpace back then
Yeah.
too. I think
Yeah,
that's when MySpace was coming out.
MySpace, beginning
Uh,
of
Yeah, it
'cause
was
you can see.
MySpace. MySpace was everywhere back then because I remember when we were touring in like 06, 07, MySpace was incredible for being in a band because you could like, they had this, I mean, you could never do the kind of stuff now, but they had a search feature where you could search for certain people that lived in certain cities that were into certain stuff.
Yeah.
And we would go and message those people like, hey, we're in your town tonight. You want free tickets? Hey, you want to come out and see a show? We'd message a bunch of college kids, and dude, we would sell out shows. But yeah, it was around that time. So it was like a different community. I don't think people were social media was all about yourself
Yeah.
rather than trying to make groups and stuff back then, in my opinion. But now it's the whole like, I mean, I think everything ever since Discord kind of became popular, the whole community, online community things have really banded together. And I mean, the Rumble community has helped shape Rumble. Like all these, like we were talking earlier, like, oh, the app's frozen. Well, it's like, well, what made it free? Like detailed stuff like that, which the community has given detailed information back to Rumble has helps it get better. That's why Rumble in the beginning looked like shit. Now it looks great. Like it's just the things grow and things get better, and the people behind Rumble, I have faith that they're going to help make this platform great. But it's also the content creators need to help make this platform great. We can't come on here and just keep putting up, a bunch of junk. You put out real content. If we have real content out here, that's really going to help Rumble shine. Take like, I know you do the things you do, but I'm talking mainly to a lot of these gaming streams and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys are doing great, and a majority of you guys are doing great, but like put a little bit more effort into, your layout, your thumbnails and whatnot. I mean, if Dr. Disrespect is sitting there rating people, after every stream, and you got like some crappy thumbnail, like he's not going to rate you. But if you have something that's epic, that take a little effort, a little bit of time, he may raid you. You get 25,000 people in your stream, maybe convert about 400 or 500 of those. I mean, dude, that's a start. But there's a lot of low effort streaming on Rumble, and I don't think it's helping Rumble's cause. I think we need more people to get over here, is what I'm saying,
Right. Now, well, part of the issue is they're still at a point where, and of course the injection from Tether may help with some of the tech side, right? The tech side is sort of suffering a bit because they will always be compared to either Twitch or YouTube, to all the places that are out there already, because, oh, well, the technology's been out the range, just copy paste. That's not how it works. Right. And you'll always get that comparison, unfortunately. I mean, gifted subs was on YouTube, but then people are like, well, bring gifted subs over here. Now, it's been a great boon. Don't get me wrong. They're glad they brought it over here. But it was a Twitch thing. It was a YouTube thing. It was probably a Kick thing too. And then Rumble brought their own, which is great. But you're going to always have those sort of things because at the end of the day, the stuff that they're trying to build is already out there. The stuff they're trying to like the better search and all that stuff. It's just they have to get their end of the tech stuff better. And yeah, you're right. We do need to, content creators need to film in more, but there are also there's a lot of gray areas that you have a bunch of people who are abusing the site, doing the 24/7 stream stuff or restreaming.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that shit, dude.
Or the botting stuff, whatever.
Yeah, the botting is crazy too. I mean, I don't know what any tech behind combating bots or whatnot. I'm sure it's a nightmare behind the scenes for that. But the whole 24-hour streaming, man, I have so much to say about that. I think it's such a cop-out thing to do, and it just puts junk on the platform. And there's people in the Rumble community that I know that are doing it, and I wish they'd stop. I just it's toxic, and a lot of it is fake. A lot of it is scam. A lot of it is some guy from a third world country streaming, and he's trying to scam you. I mean, there's all how many. I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and type Elon Musk live. There's like freaking 500 streams, and they're all like, "We'll give you Bitcoin. We'll give you," and it's like YouTube doesn't do crap about it. But when I start to see it on Rumble, I'm like, dude, don't become YouTube. Don't let, a bunch of junk and fake stuff sit. Like, go to the finance page. There's a guy that's been up there for like 6 or 7 months, man. And he's just 24-hour streams. He's never there. I don't know what it is, but he's always featured. I think there's a lot of that in music. There's a lot of that, like in every category. There's that 24-hour thing, and it's like no one's even clicking it. So it's like I don't know. I think there needs to be a little bit more curation with what goes up. And I know, I hate seeing 24-hour things. I think it's so dumb. And especially me, who's, I'm a musician. I make songs, I do whatever. And I would love for my stuff to get out there, but I'm battling 24-hour streamers. I'm battling, cause I go live every now and then. And I probably, max out at like 10 people watching me, and then they dip out. But like, I never get a chance time of day to ever go up those music charts ever. And I think that the stuff that I've been creating recently, in my opinion, being a musician who's been doing this his whole life, I'm writing the best songs of my entire life. To where I know that these songs don't suck. I know that if people were to hear these songs, the right people, they would be like, this is my new favorite band, but I can never grow because I'm battling crap all the time, like literal crap all the time, like royalty-free music streams. Stupid, dude. People don't need that. No one's gonna watch that. We don't need classical. We don't need like stupid. We don't need to steal music either. There's a lot of people out there like have straight up set up their shows and have been doing it for months now, where their show is stealing music. Like they're stealing music. That's not cool. Wait, you hate 20? No, he's talking to you.
Yeah. There's a group I know. There's only one I've had on that's a 24/7 stream, and that's the Great Underground. They're a husband and wife who kind of work with a bunch of different music creators, and they just run those collaborations of music and all that stuff through their 24/7 stream. So that's one I could trust because I know the people behind it. They just do.
But are they playing like licensed music, or are they just
they're playing the people they collaborate with, the people they talk to bring on that sort of music.
So they have like they're allowed to. Is what something.
Yeah. They're
like there's other guys on here that they can take whatever. You guys can take this however you want. They have built their shows off of stealing music and doing like radio shows, and I'm like, good effing luck, dude, in the future. Like do not make like. There's someone I've talked to recently who's a creator on Rumble, who's a great creator on Rumble, and I think he's very up and coming. And I straight up told him, stop playing stolen music on your channel. If you don't own it, don't play it. And he's completely revamped his whole thing, made a bunch of new music himself, has like 7 hours of music himself to where he'll never need to use another person's song again. And when people ask about the song, they're going to be like, what song is that? And he's like, oh, this is my song. Yeah. Which is another benefit to him. So don't like if you don't own it, don't use it. Like that's how I am. Like I make everything myself. Like I rarely like my thumbnails. It's all me. And I see people taking my stuff and using it on their thumbnails. I don't really care. Go for it. It makes me feel good. I'm like, hey, I did something. But I did see a lot. There was one chick. There's a girl that's a streamer that used like my Rumble Christmas logo and like straight up stole it because I could tell it was cut out all crappy and whatever. And then I'm being all slick in chat, on and I'm like, hey, nice thumbnail. Like graphic on there. I wonder who made that. And she's like, oh yeah, it's cool. I did. And I was like, all right. And I just left. I didn't start any drama, but I just like, there you go. Don't like if you're gonna steal something, be like, yeah, I took it from you. Like, just give people credit. How about that? I think this 2025 is the year to give people credit for things because people don't get credit. Like people always ask me about my painting back there. They're like, who did that? I'm like, dude, it's my buddy Michael. He did all that. And you should go to his page and you should buy all his artwork. I spread the word. And then like like all the animations that I've done for Rumble this year.
Mm.
They
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
pay me. They didn't pay me for that. I
Yeah.
never was paid a dime for it. That was all done on my own merit. I did it on my own. I did my top, what did I do? Like top 8 creators this month. That's all me, dude. That's
Yeah.
not Rumble telling me to do it or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's just me being like, you know what? These people deserve something. I'm a nobody, but maybe I can get at least 50 people to see it, which is something, right? So I would go out of my way. I would search. I really did search Rumble thoroughly, trying to find the best stuff that I could find on there. And for me, that was the best stuff that I could find. Yeah, I would try to feature smaller people, of course. But like, yeah, man, I love this freaking community so much, man. They've been really, really cool to me. They've been really nice to me. Even the people at Rumble have shared my artwork. You know, it's makes me feel pretty good about myself, and it makes me want to keep going, dude, because I've you know, I've been in very dark places in my life where it was nothing, and I'm sure a lot of us have, you know, and where I thought I wasn't ever going to turn around. And the fact that I've turned it around, and I now, like, dude, I was homeless, you know, on the streets. I didn't have any money. I was addicted to drugs. I turned it all around to where I now have my own, like, there's like a 3-bedroom house is mine.
Nice.
And I live, you know, me and my girlfriend live on our own, and
Nice.
we're like doing it for the, you know, we've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years now, but like before that was nothing, man. So like this community really helps me stay motivated. It keeps my spirits up. And like, I'm super thankful to them, because a lot of my friends that I currently had last year, they're no longer, they don't talk to me anymore. So it's, so the Rumble community really like kind of saved me. I know I'm getting a little emotional here. It really did like kind of save me, man. Because I didn't have anybody, you know, me and Michael would talk for hours, dude. Just bullshit and back and forth about whatever, and that kept me feeling good. And I've met Eric John, the pizza guy,
pretty cool dude.
all those guys. They've been so cool to me. And Rumble Quacker's like one of my favorite people on Rumble. Like, she's always so freaking positive, and I know she's local to me too. She lives down the street. People are just awesome here, man, and I'm thankful for it. And I really hope to see the community grow, you know, positively too. I see there's some negativity going on, and there's always going to be negativity. Like, there's always going to be people talking crap or whatever. And, you know, I'm not saying to completely tune them out, but like, you know, let's try to just band together. Let's try and figure out what the hell they're talking about before we just go like, shut up, you don't know your stream stuff. Like, let's try and have, like you said, you'd have conversations with people. Like 2025 should be the year for conversations. Like, actually get to know the guy you're talking to. Get to know the guy that hates Rumble. Sit there and talk to him and be like, why do you hate him? Why do you hate him? Break it down.
Well, one of them I do. One of them I do. I've had him on before. The part of the problem is their view of Rumble and not enough transparency. So one of the big things that will be brought up is the chat censorship. Yes, there is a thing within the chat that will censor some words, and part of that has been described as, from Chris, as because of the apps, right? To be in the App Store, they have to play by the rules, and certain things are censored. Well, you know, there are cases, well, why don't you show us a list? Why aren't you telling people, you know, because they're about free speech, but you're not about free speech if you're censoring the chat and all that stuff. That's where that conversation lends itself, which I can understand. But when you have to play with the rules of the two big ones, Apple and Google, you know, you're kind of in a rock and a hard place. And there was an offering of, you know, like, well, maybe if we just separate the app and the web part, maybe, but that's a lot of technological aspect to it.
But you know what? The problem is the words that those people want to say are the worst words ever. So like, I can give a F. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this.
You're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
You're fine.
I don't give a fuck about what people say about that kind of stuff, because they're going to say the N-word. They want to say the N-word.
Oh no, that's fine. It's you can't say cock. You can't put cock in the chat.
Can't put cocks. That's what people are pissed about. Like, fucking grow up. That's what I say.
Again, it goes back. It goes back to their point of, look, you say you're free speech, and yet you have censorship in your chat. That's their main point they keep dragging out, is that you talk about being free speech, and then you have this censorship in your chat that's not
You have a cock censorship, but then everything else is allowed.
not
Like,
every there are
see,
other
look at
words.
watch the streams though. That's what I'm saying is watch Bongino's show for one day. It's way gnarlier than anything that people are talking about in chat. It's
Wait.
just they are founded on free speech, but like it's for the creators.
Mhm.
That's my opinion. I'm not positive on that, but the free speech is for the creators that get screwed on YouTube. Like
Mhm.
like our channel, we've been screwed on YouTube fucking twice now, where they threatened to terminate our channel. Like, that's for that. It's for that. Hey, you can come here and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Whether you want to sit here and shit on Rumble, I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying in general. Like if someone's come on
There's
here
some
and
people
shit on
do.
Rumble,
There's some people
they,
do.
they allow it. They allow it. It's free speech. But for people to like, I get it. I understand I get it. Right? That's not completely free speech, but the free speech is built for these creators. It's for people to come here and be able to talk and listen to stuff that they're not going to hear on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're not going to hear there. That's what this free speech is, in my opinion, and that people need to really get that through their heads and stop thinking about themselves. Like to worry about saying cock is fucking stupid. Like it's just fucking stupid. Realize the bigger picture here, which is the content creators here. You're not seeing them over there. You think Crowder gets away with doing all that stuff over on YouTube? Hell no, dude. They censor their streams when they do that stuff. Like they blur their streams out. So it's like that's my opinion on that. I care less about what people have to say about chat censorship.
And you're perfectly within that right. And there again, as a free speech is, but again, as I've always seen it pop up, as I've always seen pop up is they'll that stickler of they say they're free speech, but they're not free speech because you can't say it in chat, sort of thing. That's the stickler. That's the rub. And there's not going to be a satisfying conclusion to that, because then you'll have the next thing, right? All platforms have an EU out. Just look at what they're doing with Twitter X, right? Did no one see what happened with the Twitter X thing earlier and all that stuff? The I guess some people were speaking about the H1B sort of thing, and they got some stuff removed. The point of the matter is, though, is while I can understand their side, there's also a side to it too, is where you were correct in saying you can go on camera and you can say all the horrible stuff you want. It's just in the chat is where the stickler is at, and they're going to throw out, well, then it's not free speech, because that's a black and white issue, right? Like, what is free speech? If you're on the internet, what is free speech? Because you have other different countries that don't have that. So look at France, look at Brazil. You have other countries who are not free speech. So what is free speech on the internet? Is it limited? Is it not limited? Is it just, even in the US, it's limited, depending on the company you go to. So what is free speech on the internet? Well, here's what it should be. Is it though? Is it though? That's the issue. But again, it's about having a conversation instead of chopping each other's heads off. And they'll also come to other two where they're just going to complain about certain people. They'll complain about Mario and what he does. And I kind of, there's some times where I kind of have to say, Mario, you need to step back, because he does kind of put his foot in the mouth and a few times. But I
have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm just bringing up what I've seen. The problem is, no matter what you try to do to fulfill their end, there always going to be more to complain about. That's the issue, right? And then they just become trollers. At the end of the day, though, all you can do is continue what you're doing in the creation factor, right? And that's what gets me about this whole creation factor too, is you have a lot of people before YouTube even had the AdSense, right? No one got paid for putting stuff on the internet. They just wanted to do it. They wanted to share these. Now you can get paid. X, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Monetization as a whole, while it is helpful, ruined the creation factor. And why is that? It ruined the creation factor because why do people create? Are they creating because they're going to get money for it? Or are they creating because the money is a side object and they're not even thinking about it?
It's two sides there. I mean,
that's the issue I have with the whole.
It's the money. It's money, dude. It's money is the root of all evil, man. That is the truth of it all. And as much as we say that we don't do what we do for money, we do what we do for money. Whether it's going to work, whether it's buying new clothes so you don't look like shit at work, like stuff like that. Like it's money rules everything. That's just the way it is, and it ends up ruining everything. I mean, ruined the music industry. It ruined everything. It ruins everything. And the next big thing that come up, money's going to ruin that shit too.
Well, I mean, you're going to have, that's just going to be the crypto field. or crypto is going to be that whole ordeal. Well, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see, man. We'll never know. I mean, it's projected to hit all-time highs this year, and you know, as much as people trash on crypto, I'm a huge supporter of crypto. And you know, if you look at the 4-year Bitcoin cycles, I mean, did exactly what it says it's going to do. It's like a no-brainer to put money into Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, but it's something to, you know, you need to do your DD and research before you do any of that stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of crypto scams out there. Like we saw the Hawk Tua thing. We saw tons of things. I mean, recently, I mean, you got to be an idiot to even think about that one. But like, yeah, dude, people lose there's people that, I mean, okay, we came from the AMC GameStop squeeze, which was a huge thing, right? That's how we got big. We got big from, you know, we were like, I would say the first person to stream the GameStop squeeze and stuff. And overnight, Nat got 100,000 subscribers. This is the craziest shit in the world.
Wasn't like the stock, it went so high and then it just kind of crashed down a bit?
It did a bunch of crazy, wild, wacky shit that no one knew was going to get that crazy. So like people, like, here's the thing is there's people that put their life savings into it at the beginning that cashed out and now they're millionaires. But then there's idiots that waited till that to, you know, they had all this hype and all this commotion of all these people saying all this stuff. And then the company started making these like bad decisions, you know, and we would let people know like, hey, I don't think this is good, you know. And then people started to not, like Matt said, one bad thing, you know, like negative thing, and they all hate Matt. They're like, oh, Matt, I hate you. And a lot of these guys bought in at the top, like their life savings, put it in, and when AMC was at like $60 or something. And if you haven't looked, I'm pretty sure AMC is like under $10 right now, and if not lower than that, after having like multiple splits and stuff like that. So like people lost their life savings on this stuff, and it was all built on hype and hopium. And the same field is with crypto. And I think people should be careful over the years with crypto because there's a lot of bullshit out there. But
yeah, especially we're talking about the Elon stuff too, right? On YouTube, seeing those Elon cryptos.
Yeah, there's just tons of stuff. Like, just do your research before you do anything. Triple, quadruple check everything you do. And if you're gonna invest in any crypto, just get Bitcoin. I mean, look, look who's backing it. Look at the people backing. I mean, look at Michael Saylor, dude. He's been backing it forever. He is now filthy rich, very successful. That's the only one I see as maybe not being a scam to people, that you could feel a little bit safer with it. But this ain't a crypto pitch. This is here just talking about, you know, the bullshit of life.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. There's a question I'm gonna get to, but it is top of the hour, or power hour as I call it. And what that is I sort of set aside some time for us to promote ourselves, because that's sometimes with a creator they do it at the beginning, they do it at the end, or they do it sporadically throughout. I do it at the top of the hour because it's sort of this timing factor, right? Here's an hour, let's take a small break and then we can continue on, because I don't do like all day streams like gamers, because that would kill me. But anyway, but I do believe I did put your stuff down below there, your Twitter, X, and Rumble. But if you would like to sell yourself, like the kid says, the floor is yours.
All right, the floor is mine. Okay, well, guys, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering who is this beautiful man right here, my name's Austin. I go by Chaos and Roswell. I've been in bands my whole life, right? And Chaos and Roswell has been my thing since I was like 17 years old, and it's always been my thing. I was in other bands, and I kind of took a huge hiatus for, I think the last time I played a show was 2012. A long time ago, like fucking years ago, to where I came back 2 years ago, and I took a bunch of unreleased songs that I've been working on. I mean, I have hundreds and hundreds of songs. Took a bunch of unreleased songs, and I used the power of AI to help me bring these songs to life again. I mean, these songs sounded like crap. They were mixed really bad, whatever. So on my page is my whole discography from the past 12 years of writing songs, produced well. They're rock songs, they're pop songs, they're whatever songs. And and I put a lot of time into it. And like I said, to me, I feel like this is the best stuff I've ever written. I understand that I'm using AI to process everything, but
Mm.
if you guys ever get a chance to tune into my streams, I promise you it's the most boring thing you're ever going to watch. So just bear with me there, but you'll see my process of how I do this. And I feel like I have a process of doing it that I haven't met anybody else that does this process yet. So I feel
Right.
like it's unique,
Yeah.
to where I can, AI has gotten so powerful with music recently. I mean, it's literally music industry's done for. Just everybody realize it's done for. No more.
Yeah.
The AI's taken over. You could literally sit here with an acoustic guitar,
Mm.
play a little riff, and sing a little melody, and then record it, and then send it into AI and tell it what to do, and be like, okay, put drums behind a bass guitar, make it 140 BPM, make the chorus big. I want choppiness in the chorus. I want double bass right after the chorus. I want a breakdown right after the second chorus. I want the last chorus to be doubled just off of this little tiny little thing, right? And then I write some of my lyrics in and whatnot, and bam, dude, you got the songs that are on my page.
Yeah.
And the songs that are on my page, they sound real. They don't sound fake. They don't sound fake at all. If you think they sound fake, you're fucking crazy. But like, if you guys ever get a chance, check out my page. You can check out Chaos and Roswell. I'm on Rumble. I'm on I just got an album on Spotify yesterday.
Nice.
More coming, so you can check it out, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Chaos and Roswell. Yeah, dude, I was a singer growing up. I was a guitar player, I was a drummer, I was a bass. I played it all, man. I love music. Music's literally my life. It's crazy that people know me for my thumbnails and like Rumble animations, but really, dude, I'm a musician. I literally eat, sleep, breathe music. Like, has ended so many relationships that I've been in. I chose music every time. I said, so like, I am a music guy. Music is if you guys ever want to hear the even more creative side of me, where I'm kind of screwing around, watch Matt's intros. They're wild, dude. I mean, I do 80s rock metal to like straight up jams, but they're all really good.
Nice.
So I really put all my effort into making things quality. That's my huge thing too. I don't like putting out low quality stuff. It's my passion, and I'm never going to stop doing it. I'm never going to stop making songs. I'm probably going to put out, my goal this year is to do at least 3 or 4 albums worth of like hits, not just albums, like hits. I want hits. And hopefully in the future I can do something with it. Because in the past, I used to be a songwriter, and I used to write songs for commercials, movies, stuff like that, and made a pretty penny doing that back then. And I would love to, like, some of the songs I hear now, I'm like, damn, man, if this band sang this song, or if fucking Beyonce sang this track, like, I bet you I could get like $100,000 for selling the rights to this to the label. So what I'm doing is basically putting together a massive like catalog of stuff that I'm eventually going to try and sell. And you may hear your biggest. I mean, look at, dude. You think Britney Spears and NSYNC and all these bands? I mean, any bands till now, you think they wrote all of their songs? Hell no. They had songwriters come in. They had they bought. There's these 2 guys. I think they're from like Denmark or Sweden, but they wrote like over 50% of the hits from like 2000 to like 2010, and these 2 guys. And they just sell all the shit to Capitol Records or Universal or whatever. And then Universal pays them like a couple $100,000 a track, so that Universal now has a catalog of like 20 songs, to where they just signed their new artist and they're like, she's perfect for this song. She's perfect for this song. They just have hits ready to go. So my idea is like, hey, if I can make a bunch of rock hits or whatever hits, it's just ammo, dude. It's just ammo.
I would just go for royalty though, because you could get paid a flat fee, but royalty will probably benefit more. Depending.
Yeah, it all depends on like what I would be doing, because of course I've done that too as well, where I've sold the also rights to the song plus like a 5% royalty for like 10 years. So like it all depends on the artist, their success or whatever, and what the deal is. But I mean, if I'm able to put together even one song a day, and I could make, dude, I mean, even $1,000 from that, that's time well spent for me. I mean, I do that every day. I mean, I'm making over $300,000 a year using AI. So that's my goals and hopes. You never know what's gonna happen.
But the problem right there is when well, we're getting too far in the weeds. But anyway, let's finish out this promotion stuff.
Oh shit,
Otherwise,
we're a promo.
otherwise,
See, I don't know your show, dude. You gotta tell me. You gotta cut me off. You gotta be like, hey, shut up.
I got you. I let you finish out. That's what I was wanting to do. I let you finish out. So anyway, from my end, whether you're on the Rumble side, whether you're on the YouTube side, right? Because I stream to both. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, or leaving a comment or follow, and of course, if you're on Rumble, you can do repost now. Anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated. Yes, of course, as always, content creators want to be seen more. That's part of it, but also helps in lending itself to have more guests on. Doesn't matter if they're content creators or not. This is about just having people across the table to have conversations with. I'm not here to try to get clout or whatever that thing is. I'm just trying to come out here and try to have the conversations that seem to not happen or whatever. It doesn't mean I'll get everyone. It just means I'm going to try to go for as many people as possible before. Because I've said in the past, like if I could get like 1 million people, that'd be content for the rest of its life. And they could be a multitude of different variety. But the problem of it is that people have to be willing to take up the opportunity. So that's where that problem lies too. So anyway, any help with the engagement on either end, whether Rumble or YouTube, is much appreciated. Of course, there's a link down below. If you want to see where else I'm at, you can check out that link, Twitter, X, Discord, all this stuff. But if you want to be part of it, like the little thing says down below, you can either go to the link down there, or you can leave a comment on either Rumble or YouTube, and we can get started. I've already had one person that looked me through my link and then asked to come onto the show, and that was Slinger Game. So it's not impossible. It's not hard. If you want to do that, the door is there. So helping the engagement and checking out my link. Appreciate you guys so much on either end. Appreciate it, because I do. I don't know if it'll ever be something that will be something to live off of, but I want to try to at least keep the authenticity throughout this whole thing, because there's just not a whole lot of different conversations going on out there that are just free flowing, as what I try to do. And I know you named Tom Green, but I don't think Tom's Green you don't hear very much about him anymore.
Yeah, he's living on a farm in Canada now, dude. he's hanging out with like mules and stuff now.
Isn't he Canadian?
Yeah, he's full blood Canadian. I mean, he lived in LA for like 20 plus years or whatnot. But yeah, he's out in like the boonies out in Canada.
Yeah,
just living a wholly different life. But he did say something that he was starting the first ever Barncast, which I thought was hilarious. He's got this piece of crap barn out there, and he's putting a podcast studio in it. And he's supposedly, I don't know if he's done it yet, but yeah, he's a great dude, man. He's been someone that I've like, I don't want to say looked up to. It sounds crazy to say I've looked up to Tom Green my whole life, but he's a fucking awesome man. Very cool guy. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, but yeah, do some research on Tom Green, man. He started all of this. If it wasn't for him, you and I would not be talking. It'd be a different world.
Yeah.
He had a full on, he had a server system set up in his house back in 2001, 2003, where he was trying to, because he had a show on MTV, the Tom Green Show. Yeah. And then they canceled his show and they did all this shit. And he was like, I want to keep doing this stuff. I got a bunch of money from MTV. I just did Road Trip. He just made all this money. He had all this money. So he went and did all that stuff and figured out how to stream. He had like some crappy little website back in the day where you had to go to that website. And then it evolved. And eventually it was on YouTube for a little bit. And I was, I had the balls he had this thing where he was like, call into the show. And you would call in through Skype and stuff. And I called in the show. He brought me on camera. I had like long hair. I was all emo. Super cool guy. But yeah, an innovative podcasting. Yeah. If I would commit to listening to 2 full songs to get a free feel for your music, which 2 would you pick, Chaos?
There you go.
Probably Overdue if you like pop punk kind of stuff, like poppier stuff. And if you like the heavier kind of stuff, I would check out Wildfire. Those are kind of like so I kind of did a little split recently. So what my plan all year is, I'm going to create, it's going to stick to like maybe like 3 or 4 genres. But I'm going to create a different like 8-song EP for each thing, and I'm going to try and create it like an album. Like I'm using the
Nice.
same singer, I'm using the same like genre for the album and whatnot. So like I did like a heavier album recently, and then I did a pop punk album, and
Nice.
this next one I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. So it's kind of up in the air. But,
Why don't you do some like a rap country? See if that works.
rap country, yeah. You never know. I mean, I grew up with rap music. I love rap music so much, but I've never. I've done like R&B stuff. Like I've done that over the years and whatnot. But that I did what was it? That Rumble song recently that they shared. I did for them. It was like,
the something in chaos or something like that.
There's something, some Gen Z rap song I did. Fucking, that's first time attempting that. I've never attempted to do anything like that. And I saw people were saying, "Oh, it's just cringe," or "This is the best song I've ever heard." Yeah, I've never done that before, so y'all can kiss my ass. So, maybe the next one will be a rap album or something cool. I know it's gonna cause a bunch of people. There's like two sides of the AI music community. There's the people that love it, and then there's people that are like, "Fuck that! I don't want to ever listen to that. You're ruining music." Dude, people need to learn to evolve. People evolve. We've evolved over the years. This is taking over. You have to accept it.
Well, the greatest examples are back in the early Victorian era. There used to be people who would light lamps, and you'd pay people to wake you up for work. Where are those people now?
Wait, really?
Yeah, you could go back there. I think there's one picture I saw where someone would be like outside your window and try to wake you up or something, or knock on your door. But there would be people who would light the lamps on the street because they'd be gas or oil lamps, I think it was. You don't have those people anymore. You have LED lights now. You have your own alarm clock. So
whoever invented the alarm clock, death wish back then, man.
Yeah, he was like beep beep. But the thing of the matter is that technology changes over time, and so that influences how people will evolve and take up the job, right? So you have things like now Elon showing off the Prime robots and all these other different robots and stuff, and then the AI generation, all this stuff. Yes, there will still be a place for human, making and whatnot. But you do see a lot of people who will play with the toys, right? See, the whole AI generation, and because I use OpenStop Pro for making shorts and stuff that has AI in it, and I use Claude for sort of like talking and stuff. But you see a lot of people playing with like Midjourney, if you know what Midjourney is, right? Midjourney, a lot of people over the years have been playing with it, and in 2 years' time, it's grown exponentially in how much better it's getting.
Oh, it's insanely better. I mean, I use AI every day for the thumbnails I use. I mean, it's remarkable how much it's gotten better. I mean, I stopped using Midjourney. I started using this one called Ideogram, and it's phenomenal, dude.
How do you spell it?
Ideogram.
Helping people become more creative. Is that what it is?
I would assume so. That is the greatest. That is the greatest AI out there.
This one?
Yes. Yep. That one right there. This is, in my opinion, the greatest AI out there. It is so good with text. It is so good with, if you look at any of the recent Matt Kohrs thumbnails, I've used Ideogram to make Matt like an astronaut or whatever it is. This is what I use. And in the beginning, it was awesome. Like I remember the first time I prompted, it was probably over a year ago. Prompted something and I was like, no fucking way. Like, no way. I go, my job's done for. I go, I'm screwed. I'm fucking screwed. But it's evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved. And I thought from the very beginning of this, I was like, dude, I'm not going to let this take my job from me, because I guarantee you it lost a lot of people a lot of jobs. But I was like, I'm going to get really good at this shit. I go, I'm going to do everything I can to learn everything about it, learn how to be super good at it to where I am not in jeopardy of losing my job. Because Matt could easily go on an AI thing, prompt some stuff and do it. But can he do it like I do it? I don't fucking think so. So, I
can't take it with me.
So I developed my own skill set with AI, and that goes into now video editing. It goes into the music that I make. It goes into the artwork I make. And, people are like, how are you doing all this crazy shit? I'm like, dude, you could do it too. It's all available to you. It's the thought process. So I get paid for my brain. I don't get paid for my artwork. I get paid for my brain. I have a brain that I use that I use pretty well. So
I have brain.
yeah,
Brain. That's what it
yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Me got brain. Me got big brain. You don't got big brain. I got big brain. You quiet.
Yeah.
That's
So
what.
it's just that's my whole thing is like anytime something new comes out and you think it's very innovative, like just do everything you can to be really good at it because you'll be one step ahead of the other guy or even 2 or 3 steps ahead. And in the end, stuff pays out for you. You know, you'll have like I would love a job right now just to be a prompter for like any big company, just a prompter. Like, oh, we need this. Okay, I got you. Bam. Like there's somebody right now at these big companies getting paid to do that. Like that's literally a new job is a prompter for AI, whether it's ChatGPT, AI artwork, music, whatever the hell you want to call it. Those are jobs now. And the people that got those jobs are the people that had the same mindset that I had was like, I'm going to learn how to do this really, really well.
Yeah, and the thing of it is though is that YouTube introduced its own thing to its own stuff. So on the creator studio, the back end things, inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like they just introduced where they were giving you ideas for videos. If they can do that, what's going to stop them from taking the creator's job thing and taking all the ad money for themselves?
I can see that being a thing. I can see them. I mean, they've done it over the years. They're slowly doing it. And then raising prices at the same time, like dramatically, like YouTube TV. I remember paying $34.99.
Yeah, I saw it was like $100 and something bucks, or it's something more than that.
And I'm still paying for it too, which is crazy. But like, fuck, man, $100, man, for freaking. And I always watch the local news channels, man. And people told me like you can just get one of those like $20 antennas off of Amazon if you really want to just watch like the local channels. And I'm like, wow, I'm stupid. So like, you know, but yeah, it's just like slow. It's a slow burn. I mean, they'll eventually get their hands in the cookie jar more and take more from creators. And I mean, dude, content creators make a lot of money on like the guys that are getting, I don't know,
Mr.
let's
Beast.
say like. Yeah, well,
Mr.
Mr. Beast, but even the guys that are, let's say they post weekly and they get like
700,000
views on a video a week, that guy's probably making like $15,000 to maybe $30,000 just in monetization if he has over 50% watch time on his video. And that's not including your sponsorships and all your other things in comparison to that. So like these guys are pulling in like 50, 60K a month, only getting like 600, 700,000 views on a video weekly. I couldn't even imagine what Mr. Beast is getting, or even someone like like PewDiePie who posts something and he gets like 4 or 5 million views on a video. I mean, he's cashing in a couple $100,000 a video, plus his sponsors probably paying close to that as well for a 90-second pitch. They're probably like, hey, we'll pay you $75,000 per pitch. You got to do it 4 times a month, and you got to do at least 2 minutes. You got to dedicate it. So like, there's so much money in YouTube, and you think that they're not going to want to get their hands into that in the end. Like you're crazy. Like that's why there's so much content creators and so much like it's saturated now because everybody realized, oh my God, you just got to make videos and you could be rich.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing what Kaisenet, ISO Speed.
That's Twitch. Yeah, the Twitch.
But even those guys, like I'm mentioning that they're getting bigger deals than NBA players and sports players now.
Yeah.
You know, so of course, all these guys see that are big wigs at these companies. They're going to get their hands in the cookie jar eventually. And I think that'll come with everything. And I think that, you know, I hope it doesn't really come to it with Rumble. I pray it doesn't. But
there's going to be something of AI.
Money rules everything, dude.
Yeah. Well, something is going to come with the algorithm because that's part of the issue right now is that their algorithm is still geared towards the live stream section. They're still updating over time. It's going to be a while, but you know, people who make edited videos or short form content, they're not getting as much viewage as they'd like to per se. And the part of that is because the For You tab or whatever that algorithm is, the personalization one, is not getting up to par because it will just, like I looked through my For You tab earlier and there were only 2 videos that could be considered short form edited content. And it needs to be a bit more than that. But I know a lot of people say, well, make sure we'll just take that and make that bigger on the front page and all this stuff. Because again, comparisons to Twitch, comparisons to YouTube, all that stuff that just need to be better on that regard, because right now it's just streams are the streams are the king on this platform right now. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna stay like that for a minute, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But yeah, until they develop, I mean, it's in development from what they posted on Twitter and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they even posted when they first released the algorithm, they said like it's a simple, like there's a simple one for now, you know. And I agree, it's not perfect at all. I mean, a lot of the times I get, you know, like I'll watch one of my videos, which is Chaos and Roswell, and then I'll get a recommended video of something that's called Chaos, and I'm like, that's not the fucking algorithm, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But like, it's all development. It's the how things like
Yeah.
how anything is in the beginning. They honestly, what they probably have to do is have years of like actual data
Yeah.
to
Years,
analyze to be able
Yep.
to, you know, even create anything close. So it's like,
Yep.
with people doing what they're doing right now on Rumble is helping create the algorithm. So
Yeah.
like, you know, eventually I think time will come for short form content. Like I'm pretty sure Chris said that's on like the runway this year, short form
Shorts.
content, and,
Yeah.
and it got pushed back. It was supposed to come out a while ago, and I was bummed about it because we post short form content twice a day on Run Rumble. But I think it's on the runway, and hopefully that'll help build a better algorithm, because it's going to get people like, they can kind of spread that out where you're watching, like, say you're watching one of my shorts where it's about music, and then you get fed something about Bongino, and then right after that you get fed something about a dog walking down the street, and then bam. So you're going to get like, you're going to be able to get more data that way from people, like what are they wanting to watch and what are the thing, and then they can start building the algorithm for you. But I think it's short form content is going to be the key to all that, dude, because like I'm so all over the place on Rumble with live streams, but it's like, who's gonna rewatch a live stream, man? But that's not an interview. Like, who's gonna rewatch a gaming stream? Like,
They're too long. They're too long.
even if they were 45 minutes, I'm not gonna rewatch it. Like, it's about being live in the moment with it that makes it special. And it's like same for us. Like, we host a finance stream. No one watches our rewatch of our finance stream. It's all about being there in the moment. So like, I understand why Rumble is focusing on pushing live streams, because it's creating community engagement and all this stuff, which is helping the platform. But eventually the real money makers are going to come from like these big videos and stuff. I mean, like, you compare the biggest videos on YouTube to the biggest live streams on YouTube, it's incomparable, like totally incomparable. So like, eventually I think that's the key, is getting more videos in front of people, but it's also better content creators coming in front of people, because
it's a catch-22.
It's totally.
And again, the having the tether injection may help, or the tethered, whatever you want to call that. But the issue of it is like you said, it's years of data they've got to build. They got to have the stability for it. They got to have the foundation for it. They got to have the sustainability for it, because again, 775 million is not going to be around forever. So they have to be very moderate, very lenient with it. Otherwise they could go under, and it doesn't seem they want to. So
they should just put it all into Hawk to a coin, dude.
That would have solved everything. That would have. You know what? Don't put it in the Hawk Tua. Put it on the girl that was on that plane that said there was something in the back. That
that motherfucker. That he's not real.
He's not real. He's not real. Yeah. Should call it the not real coin. There you go.
Could you imagine if they did that though? Like that would. Could you, like, Rebels comes out, they put all their money into Hawk to a coin, like people, and then let's say it worked out. Let's say, like, let's just say that Rumble put $775 million in the Hawk to a coin, and then 10x the money. Like, do you think people are gonna talk shit on Rumble for that, or be like, Rumble's a G?
If that's a two-way street, because if it could have gone wrong, then it would have been very bad.
We're screwed. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you have to be careful when doing that stuff. But I know crypto is going to be that next thing, and that they're talking about adding that as an addition to paying, because again, they've added stuff like gifted subs, and gifted subs has been a great. You just saw it earlier. Gifted subs has been a great boon, and I think that's one of the things they added that's showing a lot of positivity for it. Now, obviously, repost as well. Repost is having a lot of positivity for it. It's just the algorithm needs to be seeing more on other stuff, and that's going to require more data. And you can say curated content and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's like a ball of yarn, right? But it's not just a single color; it's a multitude of color. This ball of yarn is a multitude of color, and if you pull on one string, it's going to pull a whole bunch of other stuff, and the ball may fall apart. So you have to solve this really big ball of yarn problem and trying to get all of it out in one string, even with the colors all in one go. It's not that easy. It's very difficult and it's going to require time. But a lot of people are too used to what is now. And they want that place has it now. Make that thing now over here. That's not how it works. That's not how they want to build the platform. Well, Rumble's been around for some odd years and they should have this all stuff here. You don't understand that tech-wise, when they first started out, that may not have been the case. When did they buy locals? Go back when they went buy locals. Did they have locals when they first started out? No, they didn't. Their mindset
changed. They have totally. I'm sure they have a totally different tech team now.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to assume, you know.
Well, for being over since 2013, right? That's when they started. You go back looking through all the designs of it and all that stuff. When Rick got in is when things really kicked off. But the people need to understand technology does not work on the same level when you're building a video hosting site on all these different platforms. It's just not how it works. Google has its own servers, right? Right? YouTube is on Google. Twitch is on Amazon. They have their own server system. Rumble wants to build its own server system. That comes with a whole host of problems that require resources and manpower. I get the frustration, right? You're already used to this thing over here, and you want it over here because it's simple, it's easy, it's intuitive, it's understandable. But after the end of the day, if you don't understand coding, if you don't understand how the server system works, if you don't understand how much data you need for all these different things, the amount it costs for an engineer, a developer, all these sort of people, then you're going to be very pissy on this platform is not running well without understanding the all intricate bits that make a video hosting site.
Yeah, that's like that goes with like anything in the world. Like if you don't, I would say a better way to say it is like if you don't know what you're talking about, don't say anything at all because a lot of people don't.
Oh, I think you muted. I couldn't. I think you pulled something. Still can't. Nope. Oh, almost. Oh, almost. No, you're out. There was a little blurb of something. So maybe you had to finagle something. Maybe you got to switch it around. All right. Try to say something now.
0.2.
There we go. We got you. You're back.
You got me?
Yep, you're back.
Okay, I probably coming in on like the crappy microphone, but I don't know what I did. I did something, but
You probably hit like the cord or something. It kind of janked it out.
Yeah.
But no, you're fine. You're good now.
But yeah, dude. I don't know what we're talking about. What were we talking about?
It was about while understandable that these other platforms have been around a while, they have all this stuff and they do have probably nigh infinite resources.
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, it goes with like anything, man. Like people critique without understanding the process with like anything in the world, you know, and like. I just say like take a little time to just like do some research, you know, do some research before you look dumb too. Like a lot of people look dumb on the internet and say something, and you know, it's like, dude, all you had to do is like it was on the first page of Google, man. Like you just look it up, stuff like that.
And the funny thing is that if you were to look up my show name, well, go ahead, go look up my show name. Go look up
on Google.
Yeah. Tell me what you see. Hey, Rance.
Dartmouth.
No, it's Darachat.
Oh,
Darachat.
I put Daramouthe.
Yeah, that's gonna be with the college. Now do the show name.
Darachat. Yeah, I see you right there on the front.
On the first page, baby. I had to look, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
I wonder if I come up. Let's see.
Probably not.
I do. I come up.
Oh, nice.
But all my old shit, like my SoundCloud and my.
Hey, Rance, thank you for stopping by. Oh, have a great stream. Back to my corner. Yeah, back to your corner, Mr. Bugman. No, it was pretty funny when that happened. I was like, I can't believe that my show is on the front page of Google. That's like the hardest ones. Hey, Crazy Golfo.
Yeah, so what you did is you got into the keywords in the algorithm. So the keyword Darachat is linked to you. Yeah. Just like if you type earthquake on Twitter, I come up there. So one time it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 3 or 4 months ago. There was like a major earthquake in I don't remember where. It was either like it was in New Jersey or New York or something.
Really?
And it was like right after it happened, like as it was happening, I just have some big brain move. I'm like, I got an idea. So I'm thinking of when I was younger, when I was like, this was 94, 95. We had the Northridge earthquake in California when I used to live in California. And I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. And it was like a 7.3 earthquake. It was gnarly,
What?
dude. The whole city fell apart. Freeways collapsed. The
Oh.
fucking like factories blew up. The pipelines blew up. There's fire. Everything. It was chaos. It was fucking chaos. So I was like, I'm gonna find the news report of that real quick, and I'm gonna share it. And I was just gonna be like, does anybody remember this earthquake? But I was feeding off of the algorithm of an earthquake just happened. Everybody's going to be talking about it. If I hashtag earthquake in there, you have an earthquake video, it's going to get shared in front of people. I followed the formula, did it, got it up within 5 minutes. That video, I'm pretty sure, got like more likes than I've ever gotten on Twitter. They got like 30,000 likes or something, or maybe 3,000. I don't know, but it did really well. So it's like the search term algorithm Darachat is linked to you and only you at the moment. You're the top of the list. So that's pretty cool.
And even if someone does try to do like different letters or whatever, I'm still the original because I created it. Like even Daramouthe is just based off the word vermouth, and the first iteration you see of that is my @ on Twitter X is Vermouth. But then this is the second iteration of that, and so I completely made it up because I didn't want to do like numbers or whatever you have to do, like when you go to a gaming place, whatever, you have to do like numbers after your name because someone else already took it. I created something original. I borrowed off something else, of course, but I created something original. And Darachat is just a slightness off Daramouthe.
So like, what is Vermouth or Daramouthe? Like, what is the meaning? Is it just a name?
It's just something. Well, I think the biggest point was what I said earlier was I wanted to make something that didn't require you to put a number after it, right? Because I used to play like RuneScape in the back of the day, and I made something I thought no one else had did, and somebody did, and so it was like I had to do like a number after it. I wanted to make something that didn't require a number after it. So this is what this is. It's just playing around. And the word vermouth, it is an alcoholic drink. I don't drink alcohol. It was just the way the word sounded. It was like, okay, vermouth. It doesn't sound the way it's spelled, right?
Right.
So I just was like, that's a weird thing. So I just played around with that, and eventually I came up with Daramouthe. Now, obviously, there's a silent E at the end, but still, I just played around with it, and that's what came up. And then Darachat is just a branch off the Dara part of it, and it just goes, that's same with like Dara's Hangout Den and Rumble Squared's a bit different, but at the end of the day, though, those are just branches off the name, and to have that. Well, and they tell you not to look up your stuff too, right? They tell you to kind of stay away from that. But when I looked it up, I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? Because my name is confused with Dartmouth College, right? You'll see that you'll see this mixed in with that, but the show name is completely on its own. So I could create something that for a time is on the front page of Google. I'm like,
feels good. Yeah, feels good. You know how I came up with my name? This is a
Roswell
story for you. Yeah, everybody always asks me like, "What the fuck is Chaos and Roswell?" I'm like,
well, I'm guessing like it has something to do with aliens because that keeps
nothing. Well, kind of.
Right.
So back when I was like 17, I was on tour with my band, and we played. This is crazy. We played a Tony Hawk level.
Ooh.
So check this out. We were in New Mexico,
Mm.
in Roswell, and there was this big community center. Roswell's a really small town, very small community. There was this teen center, community center, and in the back of the community center was a skate park built by Tony Hawk, and it says on this plaque that this was referenced to use in the Tony Hawk game and everything. So when I say I played a Tony Hawk level, that's what I mean. So anyways, we played this teen center in Roswell, New Mexico, and I swear, dude, every kid, every teenager in that fucking town was at that show. It was crazy. There was like 1,000 people there, and we're playing on this stage, this rickety ass stage, and dude, the crowd is unreal. Like, these kids are crazy, dude. They're jumping off the stage, and they're coming up like rocking out with me and shit, and they're fucking jumping, they're tearing the place down, and all of a sudden, like 2-3 songs into the set, the fucking power goes out on the whole left side of the stage, and fucking all the lights go out, but there's one power source, my fucking guitar amp. And I'm 17 years old, and I'm in front of like all these people, and I'm the only one with power. And they're like, hold on, we're gonna try and fix it. So I sat there for 45 minutes and just started playing guitar and shredded, and people were jumping up on stage and ripping the place apart. And then all of a sudden power came back on and the whole band was back on stage again. And we finished our set. I mean, it was fucking chaos in Roswell. It was literally,
Wow.
it was chaos, dude. And everybody after the show was so cool to me. It was the first time in my life where I've signed autographs.
Nice.
And like, just a lot of wild shit happened that night, but it was just literally chaos in Roswell, and I've stuck with it forever. And everybody's like, it's a stupid name, or it's too long, or it's too much. I'm like, dude, it actually means something to me, because it was one of my favorite shows I've ever played to, dude. And I've played the biggest shows you could ever think of. I played arenas in front of 25,000 people.
What?
And toured in Europe and been on MTV, and I've done big fucking things. But
Really?
that show was just so special to me, bro. Like, it was so special to me, and I would love to go back in time and just relive that day over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure I threw up after the show. It was just so much craziness that went on that night, and I'd love to go back there, man. But yeah, I used to do big things when I was younger, and I just kind of, life sets in, reality kind of sets in, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna do it. You got to get a job. You got to get a real job and stuff. And you realize, oh, fuck, holding a full-time job and being in a band is not that easy, because it's like what I did before, like I was in a full-time band. Like we were making money, we were doing great, but it was like full-time band, which is like practice 5 times a week for like 4 hours, and like 4 hours at band practice, that's a long time. That's like doing the set like 3 or 4 times, taking a couple breaks. It was every day to where, like, when you're in a band and then doing a job, you can't dedicate that time. Therefore, your band will most likely, not all of them, but most likely will never make it. That separates the men from the boys. And I just kind of accepted reality, and I was just like, you know what, like, I'm getting fat now. I'm getting like a lot. Like, I used to be all skinny, and I was, dude, I was a lady killer at one point in my life. They all loved me, but yeah, reality sets in. I got fat, lost my hair, and I was like, you know what? Fuck, I guess I'm just gonna help make YouTube videos now. So like, it's a 180 on my life, but it's I wouldn't take it back for the world. I grew up in California, and I live in Las Vegas now, which is
really? You know what? So you want to remember that group I was telling you about, the Great Underground? They live in Las Vegas.
Oh, they do?
Oh yeah, husband and wife. Yeah, they live in Las Vegas. And again, but again, that's what this thing allows. I can talk to. I've talked to people from the UK, right? I've talked to at least one person from Australia, 2 people. Sorry, but the only person who came on once, unfortunately. Then I got Alaska. Oh, look, there you go. Dash is not too far.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to people from Alaska, so that's something. So you have that. I mean, for me, it's just it's the ability of, well, especially like you, right? Band that can go around, see all these different people. It's the same accordance where you can stay at your home, but you can go pretty much anywhere through people, right? Like, I get to talk to people from the UK, and it's like, okay, so what's your daily life like, right? What's the difference between America and the UK, and other than the metric and imperial and all that stuff? Because trying to decide what Celsius means is sort of like, okay, so carry the number of my phone.
Like, I hate it, dude. I hate it. I was like, I have a Canadian friend I talk to like every day, and he's like, I'm like, God, it's so hot here. And he's like, how hot is it? I'm like, 80. He's like, what? And then he'll tell me Celsius. I'm like, what? I'm like, but then the whole world's like, you got like, America's stupid for using like what is it? The imperial system?
Imperial system, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, we're so, but to me, I'm like, you guys are stupid for using the metric system. Like, what are you guys talking about? It's like such a two-way thing, man. That, like, think that we're just always going to be like that. Like, I've had 35 years of living, still haven't figured out the difference between, like, I know the difference, but I don't know the actual like mathematics to fucking determine it, which is like, I guess we're just stupid Americans. Dude.
It's called the internet. and you can use this thing called Google to look it up.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing too is I actually talked to a Canadian Slinger Games. He makes cabinets and stuff. He's a
Mhm.
cabinet maker. King and County? King and County? Oh, is that the name of your band, or is that what you're saying, DVverse? Anyway, Slinger Games does cabinet making where he lives, but he's also had to do with the metric and imperial, so he can understand between both. But it's just one of those things. So yeah, you do get a lot of from people from the UK or whatever, who pretty much the majority of the world saying, imperial sucks, and just like, but when you say like 32 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean the same thing. It can mean that it's 6 degrees Celsius today for King County. Oh, okay, so where you're at. I don't know what -6 is.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know this freaking mumbo jumbo you're writing here.
Words.
-6. Let me try and guess. Let's try and guess. -6. Let's see if we're even close.
-6 is
I would say wait, don't tell me. -34 degrees.
No, -6
Yeah.
is probably 32. Probably 32, I guess. Well, let's look. What is negative?
Oh,
negative,
you're right. You're probably right. I said -34. That shows how stupid I am, guys.
The degreeage is 42.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, so it's the same degrees here. Yeah,
it's much colder where I am, so it's much warmer.
Do you have like snow out where you're at?
Oh yeah, I've got snow. It's like 22 degrees.
Oh,
Negative.
jeez.
So 0 Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so that's some starting point. I know, it's just funny. Yeah, you're a funny bunch over there. You're a funny bunch over in the UK. Yeah, haha. Oh, I remember when there was that thing where they were talking about having a heat wave over in the UK, and people decided, oh, it's like this big number. It's like, no, it's just 78 degrees. Like, wow.
I know, right? And I'm in Vegas where it was 100. I think it got to 123 degrees this year, bro, in Vegas. And it was over 115 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 months straight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no joke. This summer was the gnarliest summer I've ever dealt with, because the year before this in Vegas, yeah, it gets hot here. I know it always gets hot here, but it maxed out at like 112 last year.
40 degrees Celsius. Oh, here he goes. 4 degrees. Yep. trying to confuse us again. I think he's saying that's what you're 115.
That's the translation.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably insane for you if you ever had to deal with that. But like, I remember seeing. I mean, this was like actually really bad. It was like there was a heat wave in India, or it was Dubai or something, or Saudi Arabia. It was something like that. It was one of those places where they had a big temple, and people were celebrating some religious thing. And I think it got to like 110 degrees, and like thousands of people died from heat stroke. Jeez. And I mean, as sad as that is, I'm like, 110 degrees killed thousands of people. I'm like, these people are not built for this at all, like, because 110 to me, I mean, I was dealing with 121 here in Vegas, and I was outside loving. I was like, I mean, it sucked, but it was like, I wasn't gonna die. But
I feel you dirty. I feel you dirty using Feel dirty, you rascals. 104. Okay, so 40 degrees Celsius is 104 Fahrenheit. Okay, so that's what you were saying. But yeah, it's just, I get it, guys. But to be honest, if you're coming over here to live in America, you go buy freedom units, which is what we're gonna call them.
Freedom units.
Freedom units. Yeah, because it shortens to FU. So freedom units short to FU. So FU.
F you. F your metric system.
FU metric system.
There we go.
But
never gonna get it.
Yeah, but
centimeters, like, get out of here with your centimeters.
I got feet and inches. The lady love the inches, but they don't like the feet. But anyway, it's crazy how that sort of differentiation. But again, I get to talk to people on that scale as well. Like, again, it's probably hotter in Death Valley than it is where you're at, though.
Oh yeah, it's like slightly, but not. I mean, it's hotter, but slightly. I mean, it's just wild summer this year. I don't know. I mean, I think there was like multiple reports of like giant solar waves from the sun, like solar flares. Sorry.
Oh yeah, solar
Um,
flares. Yeah. So
yeah.
no, they sound better. Solar waves. Come on,
Yeah.
John. They're solar
Yeah.
waves.
Yeah. Write it in.
Right then.
Yeah. That
That's
that did it. I don't know, man. That's scary though, because I don't want to deal with that again. I mean, Death Valley, I think hit like 130 this year, which is like fucking that's wild.
it's
And
insane.
it's crazy that people like because Death Valley, yeah, it's like probably about an hour and a half from Vegas or whatever, but it's like people fucking drive from like Florida to visit Death Valley. And I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what? There's nothing out there. It's just brown. Everything is brown, like dirt rocks. It's like fucking, it's gross. There's nothing there. There's no places to get food or water. And then dumb people go out there and hike with like their Stanley Cup, and they're like, I'll be okay wearing flip flops and shit.
Oh, there you go. 134 degrees is the highest temp ever recorded. That's scary.
Yeah, that's
Woo.
that's like death, dude.
Yeah.
That's like little death, like you'll die out there.
Oh man,
Well,
if you were to add humidity to that,
yeah, see, that's what we're lucky here in Vegas is there's like zero humidity here. So like I came from California I lived in Newport Beach, which is
I like this. There was a dozen flares, few power cuts, and weird bird stuff happened here. Were they pooping a lot, or it's great in winter for hiking? Yeah, it's great in winter for hiking, but not during the summer. Dear Lord, some people are dumb. Plus, they have Star Wars Valley. They had Star Wars Valley. What does that mean?
You have Star Wars Valley here?
I
Or
have no
Death
idea.
Valley? Huh, that's weird.
Maybe they did like a costume thing. That'd be so. I mean, going through Death Valley is sort of like a death wish in itself. Don't go to Death Valley. Don't.
Yeah, it's not. There's a lot cooler places to go to, like Disneyland or something. Like I don't know, fucking anywhere else. Anywhere else.
Anywhere there's water, you can see.
You're better off going to Circus, the worst hotel in Las Vegas.
or the worst casino. Weird bird stuff. 57 degrees for normal Celsius. Come on, man. Come on. Throwing stuff at me like that. Weird bird stuff. Yeah, it's weird bird stuff. He said weird bird stuff. I just pointed it out. Dash says weird Star Wars Valley is a place near Death Valley where cool planes fly through. Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. They start called Star Wars because the
People take out their TIE fighters through their little canyon runs.
Yeah, they fly in
cool.
it. Oh, goodness. But anyway, it is getting close to the top power hour again. So I think we're gonna end it there after that because of course it's the weekend and I just gotta enjoy it as well. So, but first we're gonna start off with promoting ourselves in the best way possible. I don't care if you don't know how to do it. Just throw yourself out there like a bird, like a bird with a broken wing, just ready to fly. All that stuff. That's gonna be like you just throw yourself out there like a bird with a broken wing. That's gonna be the thing. They fell from the sky, migrated early. They started gang wars. Holy crap, bird! Holy crap!
Wait, Bird started gang wars? Why am I not finding what the hell? Why is no one making videos on this on Rumble? Like, guys, if you're a Rumble creator and you want to have a great story to just put out there that's specifically targeted for Rumble, the bird gang war story, please.
Well, and just to add that before we get to promoting stuff is one of the things people just doing the edit content say that's not worth it because they're not getting the amount of reach or pay they would if they did it on YouTube. And while I can understand that, why not just do it to both places? It's always
get yourself out as many places as possible. That's my advice. Like I don't just post on Rumble. I post everywhere. Same with Matt. We post to YouTube. We multi-stream to Twitter as well. So like it's more eyes on you, the better, man. And there's no problem with me going on YouTube, and there's no problem with the guy that doesn't go on YouTube. But I do love Rumble, and I do love, what they're doing here, and I'm definitely going to stick around for the ride. But I am not sold on just putting my stuff here too. And I would think that they wouldn't want you to just put your stuff only on here right now either, especially like maybe if you're a very big creator. I hold on that
because there have been some instances from Chris where it's like, Rumble is the place to be and to post yourself. So that I have seen support from the people that to put your stuff just on Rumble, or there have been some creators say just put your stuff on Rumble, and I'd be like, I put a hole in that because, again, like you're saying, more eyes on you. It's a safety net as well, right? If one platform goes down, your stuff is safe. And I don't
Mhm.
think people understand. I get the love for Rumble. I get that. They still have their deficiencies, but at the end of the day, it's still just another platform. It's growing. It's going to get there. But if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, you're not learning the lesson that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of Twitch people learn the hard way. If
Mhm.
you are not putting your stuff on multiple platforms, you are at fault if something happens and you can't get your stuff back again. I'm sorry to
Yep.
tell you.
That's why we got brought to Rumble in the first place, was because we got terminated on YouTube.
Mm,
For a short period or whatever.
yeah,
We fought and got our channel back, but we were like, oh fuck, what do we do? We're screwed.
yeah,
And then Chris reached out to us and was like, hey, come here. And we didn't know about Rumble at the time, or we maybe slightly knew about it, but came in with open arms, welcomed us here, and we're here. It's definitely great to have multiple places to
yeah.
use as a safety net, and there's no problem with having more eyes on your content.
Yeah.
That you never know, you may break on TikTok, like maybe that's the one you break on versus Instagram or Twitter.
Dude,
Do
Rumble,
Rumble.
because I like the stack. Yeah, we all get it. You have the money invested. Okay. All right, calm it down there. But anyway, Eric's stuff is down below in the links. Again, if you want to see where else Chaos is at, his links are down below. Great guy. Again, he does stuff for the Matt Kohrs Show, and he makes his own music with a little help from AI, of course. You don't use Suno, do you? You
I used to know. Yeah, I
Okay.
used to know.
You need to be careful with eggs and all with that weird person.
Thanks. Yeah, you never know what's in them maids.
Yes, it is a dog on the bed. All right, there is a dog in the bed.
Yeah, that's her bed. This is my office where she owns the office, not me.
Uh-oh.
No, it's her. It's her room.
Oh goodness. But yes, you can check out again. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, all that stuff for this channel, either on the Rumble side or YouTube side, because again, I am on both places, so don't fret on that. But I thank you all for being here. Of course, there are a few things. So obviously, Monday I'll be back, and you saw my calendar. Monday, be with on Knizi on Monday, and of course that stuff will be out like the day before, so no worries there. Because I do try to put out the links and stuff for this the day before, because once it's done, I don't have to worry about it the day after, right? The day of. Some content creators, they put out their stuff the day of, maybe an hour, half an hour. I've seen that for some people, but not all. But it's just a weird thing. It's like I can get my stuff done the night before and not have to worry about it till tomorrow because everything's already taken care of. But some people just wait until like an hour, half before. I'm like, that's weird. I'm just with fingers in a number of random pies. I don't know what kind of pies you're putting your fingers in, good sir, but wash your hands. All right, wash your hands. But anyway, so yes, don't forget that next week's schedule is going to be put out tomorrow. I put out every week's schedule on Sunday, so look out for that. But of course, the last thing we do here, and this is for all you peeps out there. Unfortunately, not for you YouTube people, because I'm not monetized over there. So sorry, but I have a thing called questions from a hat. And so I put questions in the hat. These are questions that anyone can pretty much answer. Some people have a tough time answering them, but they're questions everyone can answer. So if you're on the YouTube side, I'm not monetized, so you have to go to Rumble to do this. But on the Rumble side, if you'd like to more, because my guest gets 2 freebies out of the hat, right? But if people on the Rumble side want to see more than 2 questions pulled out of the hat, then you gotta get a rant. It doesn't matter what the amount is. That's fine. You gotta give a rant. Otherwise, it's just gonna be 2 and that's it. I don't want to hear any complaints. Okay, those are the rules. So I'm gonna put in for the first here. First one, I'm putting my hand in. I'm not even looking. I'm just feeling like I'm making spaghetti right there. I'm just kind of all this stuff. All right, and let's see what kind of. Oh, got one right here. Here's the first one. Let's see what it says. All right, post-it notes, stickiness. All right, here we go. Oh, this one will be up your park. What's a piece of advice you find yourself giving to others most often?
Be original.
That's a little hard to do because people aren't always original or know how to be original.
That's my answer, bro.
Yeah. What?
Okay, all right. Here, let's phrase it better.
No, go.
don't be a follower. Be an original person, man. Like, be yourself. All right. That's what I mean by be original. Don't try and be like the other guy. You're not going to be the other guy. The other guy's better than you. Okay. If the other guy's better than you, he's better than you. Don't be that guy. Everybody tries to be like Dr. Disrespect. You guys aren't Dr. Disrespect. You're never going to be Dr. Disrespect. Be original. Be original. That's all. That's my advice, dude. Be original.
Be like that kid with the braces. He's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna be myself today. Let's be myself.
Yeah. I'd watch that guy because fucking who else is watching, you know? So yeah, dude, be original, man. This is why I like your stuff, because you're yourself, man. You're not trying to be anybody. You're being yourself. And I appreciate that.
There you go. That's for Rumble Quacker right there for the $2. So another question gets pulled out of hat. So that's 3 total. 3 total. So thank you for that, Rumble Quacker. But 1 second. 1 second. I got to get the tape on it because that's what I put on the walls. Don't be stupid. Good. Yeah, Davey first says, "Don't be stupid." Hey, you know what? I'll be whatever I want. You watch yourself.
It's 2025, man. I could be what I want.
What was that commercial? Like a Flintstones kid. You know, I'm a Flintstone kid or something like that.
I remember my Flintstone vitamins. I remember those.
I don't want to grow up. That's a Toys R Us kid. That's right. That's where that
Toys R Us kids. Yeah.
Toys R Us kid. All right. On to question number 2. Not even. Whoops. Something fell out. Not even looking down there, just feeling with my hands like I'm making bread. All right, there we go. All right, which question am I going to pull up? Here's one. Here's one right here. Number purple. All right. This one says, man, why don't I read this up early? This says, what do you think about the show?
What I think about the show? I like the show. I think the show is great, man. I think that's awesome that you have a platform to allow people to just have a conversation and it can go wherever. I mean, we didn't discuss any notes beforehand or nothing. We just said we're just going to do it, and we did it. We talked about so much stuff. You know, I think that's the power of like podcasting, and that's why I listen to so many. I mean, I listen to Rogan, all these other ones. It's just listening to what someone has to say. You never know. Like I didn't know what you would be about, and you didn't probably know I'd be about. And I think that's kind of magic. And I haven't been bored. I haven't been wanting to leave. I haven't, there's some people I've watched. I've watched a couple of like guys on your show, and I could tell that they're like, I won't want to do this, and I don't feel like that at all, man. I could probably go another hour if you wanted me to. I think the show's great.
Yeah, well, and I'll speak on that too. There are some people who they're anxiety ridden or whatever. Aren't Toys R Us closed now? Yes, they're all closed. All Toys R Us are closed. They're closed down. There was talk of bringing it back, but they're gone. They're gone. There have been some people that's like taking water out of stone, basically. There were a few people that were like that, but at the end of the day, that's a challenge on me. And when I can accomplish that challenge, it means I get better at having conversations and get better at being, because I taken part. So what inspired me as well to do what the show is, because someone asked, what is your show about? Part of it was the Craig Ferguson show, right? If you ever saw the Craig Ferguson show, you would see he'd bring on celebrity guests and they'd be there for a movie or a book, whatever. And most of the time, they never get there. They'd be talking about something completely else down the road. And it'd never be about a TV show. It'd never be about, they'd do like a quick thing, but it'd never be about that. It'd be about the person on. And then, of course, the other one was Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because of all the improv. Well, the US one. I know there's a UK one and some of the
UK can go kick rock. The American one was so good with Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery, Wayne Brady,
Drew Carey. That's the thing
Drew Carey,
that's the thing that kind of downplayed the new one. And of course, it's not, because he was at Price is Right, but the one with Alicia Tyler, there's a magic there that you're used to with having Drew as the host. Yeah. And then you have those other four. They kind of antagonize him sometimes, and he gives it back. But he got as good as he gave it.
Yeah, right? He's kind of an ass, and that's what I liked about it. Like he'd be like, "No, we're not doing this." Like literally, like he'll end the scene, he'll end it early or something. Like, I like Drew Carey. He was the new chick. She's doing okay, I guess, but the show's just kind of lost like its magic a little bit. It's still good, but it's just what's really good to watch if you haven't seen it yet is do you know who Adam Ray is?
I don't think I've heard of him. So
Adam Ray he's a very up and coming comedian who I think is going to be the biggest comedian next year. He does an impersonation of Dr. Phil, and he does this whole show. It's all over YouTube, man. You should check it out. It's called Dr. Phil Live, and he dresses up as Dr. Phil, acts like him the whole time, but he's super degenerate. He's cussing,
Yeah.
he's doing all this shit. Oh, where was I going with this? Oh my god, what did you talk about before this?
Improvisation.
So he did this special. He had Wayne Brady come on for this Christmas special that just
nice.
released, right? And he's like, my favorite thing. He's like, I grew up watching Whose Lines and Anyways, and my favorite thing was the skit they did where they pick somebody out in the crowd and they put their hands behind their back, and then the other person would put their hands out, and then
they had
to act it.
Yeah,
So they did that skit with Wayne Brady and some random person, and they went and did the song where they would sing the song to a person. Dude, I was crying. Like I had to pause it because my cheeks were hurting so bad.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like back in the day when I was a kid watching Whose Lines and Anyways. It is so funny, man.
Hey, Doom, you're joining us at the end of the show, though, Doom. So you're kind of running towards the end. But no, and that's where I've gotten. So because that's part of this too, is the improvisational aspect of the show, is because it's free flowing, yes, but it's improvisational as well, because you keep going long enough in the conversation and a gold nugget will appear. That'll be something you can grasp onto. Like there have been times where food has been involved or something like that. There are always these certain things that people can grasp onto. But the point of the matter is that, Craig Ferguson and Craig Ferguson had Jeff, which was sort of a bounce off, but Craig Ferguson and Whose Line Is It Anyway, they had that improvisational bit and they had fun with it. And that's a problem too, is with content creators. It's no longer, for some, it feels like it's no longer about creating content. It's about what can I create to get more out of it, right? More viewers, more money or whatever. Some people just hit it lucky and that's fine. But for me, it's like, I do this thing knowing that it may not get big. I may not make a lot of money out of it or whatever, but I get to talk to a whole bunch of different people. I get to go beyond what I'm seeing other content creators, and I get to have fun out of it. And sometimes it will be difficult. Sometimes it will be hard, but that's the point of the challenge is those hard points, they sharpen for the next time. So when you have someone like that, you can just throw off things like that because you've got so much of a catalog in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what improvisational is that you have so much of a catalog to Whose Line Is scenes from a hat. That's where I partly got this one from.
Yeah.
Questions from a hat, scenes from a hat.
I love that show. There's nothing could ever be that show. You know what I mean?
It's hard to because of all the restrictive stuff on what you could say. But even they did have restrictive stuff back then, but they learned to work around it.
Yeah, no, they did so good. I mean, there were so many like quote unquote dirty episodes, but like it's more of just the people that like, dude, Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery were like, dude, the duo is just incredible, and it's just like they're still doing it. Like I'm pretty sure there's a Whose Lines It Anyways live show in Vegas, and it's not the whole crowd, not the whole team, but I think Ryan Stiles is a part of it.
Yeah.
I think Colin's a little too old now. I think he's pretty getting up there.
Yeah.
But I love that show, man. It's just like my youth right there.
Yeah, because it was on ABC. That's where we usually watch it, and then it moved over to CW. Well, I think it was for ABC, WB, and then ABC because they did that whole changeover from WB's channel to ABC to WB because it became its own thing. But yeah, that's a whole nother field. But anyway, let's get to question number 3. Last question, unless someone gives a rant. If you could instantly become an expert in one subject, what would it be?
One subject. Be a master of one subject.
Yeah.
That's a freaking hard one, man. There's so many things.
What first pops in your mind? Just like the first thing that pops in your mind. What's
honestly, I mean, this is so basic, but a mechanic for a car. Like I'm so tired of spending money on freaking car parts and stuff. I wish I had learned how to do it myself. I think something like that, like some more hands-on, like mechanical skill level, like repairing something. It's just stupid and boring of an answer that is. I find it very fascinating because it's like I spent my whole skill set learning what I did, and it literally took my whole life to develop this skill set. It's like this is the same thing with mechanics and stuff. They have a certain skill set where they built their whole life learning that, and now they can do this. And it's a talent, like, I can fix this. Your shit's broken, I'll fix it. I wish I could do that. I wish I could fix things. I wish because I'm the guy that's like calls the guy, hey, my sink's clogged up or my toilet's back. Like I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm like,
No,
no.
that's simple stuff you could do, but I understand.
Yeah,
That's
I guess I'm just okay. Maybe the better is not be lazy. I wish I could professionally not be lazy.
You know what? You claimed yourself up by being honest. I'll give you. You know what? You know what I'll do in chat. I will give at chaos. Hold on, I gotta get to it. I'll give at chaos a fancy gold star in chat for at. I don't know if you're in there. Not chaos in Roswell. There you go. That's your gold star right there. Chaos Morale. He gets a gold star. That's because he. Do you know what? He corrected himself. He became honest, and now here he is. He's got a gold star. Look at that. Look, you can earn a gold star too by being honest. Math, I believe, is the key to everything else. Well, that is true too, but sometimes there's sound to it. Problem solving is a great skill to learn. Yeah, exactly. Look up Lean Six Sigma. It takes a long time to master, but
that sounds like a freaking headache.
Yeah.
What is that? Sounds like something that's way too.
Lean Six Sigma. That sounds like a joke away, like Sigma balls or something like that.
Yeah, you're talking to a stoner musician from Las Vegas, bro. Like,
look, man.
I know. Man. Yeah, I know. Ligma balls.
I'd be like, look, man. I've seen stars. I've seen the universe, but that crap ain't got me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, next time if you ever want to have me on, let's
definitely
talk about aliens because I got tons of stories, bro. I got. I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to talk to someone about it on here because I have, like I told you, my Chaos in Roswell is partly with that show, partly with aliens, because I'm fascinated. I mean, I got aliens all over my body. I got the Illuminati. I got stories. I've seen crazy shit. I've had crazy experiences that it would probably make your viewership really want to listen in. Or you guys are all probably gonna think I'm crazy, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, well, they probably think I'm crazy either way too. So, but anyway, that is probably. I won't go that far though, but I'm pretty sure there's someone out there saying like, I think this guy's a little crazy for yelling at his mic sometimes. Get out. But anyway, guys, thank you again so much all for being here. Of course, tomorrow I'll be putting out the schedule for next week, so look out for that. And thank you again, Chaos or Austin. Obviously, you've already said your name, so thank you for that. I appreciate you coming on. Of course, you're always welcome to come back. I always tell that to all my guests. You're always welcome to come back. And I hope so, too, because later on, I do involve people that have been on Darachat and the Dara's Hangout Den, where they cross-pollinate with other people who've been guests on Darachat, creators or not. It doesn't matter. It's about just cross-pollinating people together. And it's a very small group. It's just like 4 people total. Because I've seen what happens when you try to put 9 people together. It's like a train wreck waiting to happen. So, but anyway, yeah, it is. It is. So thank you all for being here. Oh, let's find this ET looking. Oh, he's ready. Davey versus ready. But anyway, thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend. And of course, as always, we end the show with, and then don't forget to mute your mic as well. We end the show with One Day With You by Pogo. Have a great weekend. And, don't slide. If you're out on icy roads, don't slide on the icy roads. Come on. Seriously, it's winter. Learn how to drive.
Remember what they said in chat earlier. Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid out on icy roads. That's the real thing. That's a real life lesson you're going to learn today. Don't be stupid on icy roads. See you later, guys. Bye.